If Love and Gogi is wrong, I don't want to be right.
What would Socrates say to that?
It tickles my fancy.
Okay.
Goosies.
I don't have hair.
Oof.
You got Marcos.
That's not.
Wait.
Yeah,
That's true. You do got me. Get over here, Marcus. Let me look at you.
I don't want it.
Tobin and Leroy, ready to deploy. Had to hit it with a little journalism, but that was a decoy. Better have about me, boy. Okay. Leroy and Tobin, hold to the show, man. Still to the stars with the show, and till then his half moon open. Sometimes go taste like a snowman. No proof, I'm a lie about a motor. No proof. Like I always wanted him, I never hated him, I never traded him, and if I did, I never ever traded him. You know what? What is a star? Like another city, the driver's side fly. Wish I could large, so many more. 10 in the more, never a bar. 8, 10 in the more, 2 to the P. Nothing to you, but it's something to me. Handsome as ever, and cute as could be. You can watch it on YouTube with viewing for free. Ay. This one time for the Twitch. This one time for the text. This one time for the phone line. Whole time, wonder what they gonna do next.
You know, I just wish you guys would stop the quibbling.
Morning, everybody. Tobin and Leroy here with you. 560 WQAM. And a happy Wednesday to everybody out there. No idea where Leroy is. Should probably check on him. Should probably see where he's at. What's up, Vlad? How are you, man?
I've been better.
Why so down, man? You got, your Yankees are up 2-0. You got Davante Adams. I mean, that's kind of cool. I don't understand.
We're on a 3-game losing streak, Tobin.
What?
We're on a 3-game losing streak, Tobin.
Well, I understand that. I understand. That's, and I know you thought that if you had a kicker, maybe, you'd be in a better spot. But, this is the NFL, man. I don't know what to tell you. This is the deal you signed up for when you had Ayahuasca Man as your QB.
It's not Ayahuasca Man's fault. I don't know who to blame. That's the thing. You ever have a situation where you don't know who to blame? Like everybody's to blame, but you don't know specifically who to blame?
I think you do know who to blame. I just think you don't want to blame him, because if you blame him, then it's like that kind of eradicates the hope a little bit.
It's not his fault. I know it's funny to say it's his fault.
It's not his fault.
It's the whole organization. Life being a Jet fan.
It's his organization now. But even though he was insulted by the notion that he had power, 2 seconds later, Davante Adams is on his shoulder.
That's going to happen regardless. But it's all different. No, it's all different. See, they had one on Monday, and then you get Davante, you're happy. But after that way they lost on Monday, it's like, He
almost did it. One could say, as a conspiracy theorist that Aaron Rodgers is, that he intentionally made Mike Williams look bad on that throw so he could throw him under the bus, and then oops, next day Davante Adams, and all of a sudden Mike Williams is on the block.
How do you fall? Like, just gather yourself. You're open.
How about that you have a turf made out of trash? That's why nobody can stand up. Nobody works there. Oh, hello, Leroy.
What's up?
How are you?
I'm all right. Let me get I was getting ready to sit down because I was in.
Yep.
And I looked out my window and I had 3 dogs outside.
Oh, that's not good.
They just let themselves out.
What are they?
The dogs just let themselves out?
2 of them can open the doors.
So it's time for a bigger fence?
No, the door to the house.
I don't think they can get much bigger. These dogs are the size of moose. Headlines are brought to you by Doral Hyundai. Choose from over 1,300 new Hyundai miles in inventory like the Tucson, the Sonata, and the Palisade. Remember, when it comes to Hyundai, the great deals are at Doral Hyundai. We were just Vlad is down, Leroy. He's upset. Even with his Yankees up, even with having Karl Anthony Towns.
It ain't about that. It's about them Jets.
It's about them Jets.
But here's the deal, Vlad. Like, I appreciate all of the efforts, and I said this before, and Tobin and everybody told me the defense is fine. Your defense is not fine.
They're not as great as they think they are.
But right, because here's the deal. Here's the greatest indication of how physical and how mean and how tough your defense is.
I don't even need to know. I already know what you're going to say. That first drive.
If you give up 150 yards rushing, don't talk to me about your defense.
Listen. The first drive of the game.
8 runs, 1 pass.
They set the tone. They let you know you're not as physical as you think you are, and they
Right.
set the tone. Even
Right.
though they only gave up 3 points in the second half, it's the fact that first drive in your home stadium, the road team set the tone.
Right.
And that was it.
Right. And so from that standpoint, yeah, Aaron Rodgers probably had his best game productive wise as he had in 4 years.
I mean, it was the best. I mean, he had a great game against the Patriots, but this time, because of the way the offense has looked the previous 2 weeks,
Right.
it looked better. And that was the thing. I never thought. It's weird with a couple of teams this year because Baltimore is also the same. Baltimore's whole identity has changed. I never thought now that you need the offense to carry the team when it used to be the defense. In that Monday night game, the way that game was going, it looked like it was going to be a shootout.
Right.
So it was like, really? I'm going to have to hope that this offense that hasn't really produced over the last 2 weeks was going to have to keep this team in the game in a shootout. And eventually they both teams figure it out. But yeah, 2-4. That's what we are.
The other thing is
that's what our record says we are.
Here's more of an indication of what your team is. Right. And you can always tell. And one of the things I appreciate about the Dolphins, right? No matter how bad it gets, they all in it together. Ain't nobody calling nobody out. Ain't nobody up there. You know what I'm saying? Like,
well, I mean, kind of publicly, yeah. I mean, we all saw what Tyreek Hill did.
Behind closed doors, is a different
even though
story.
he says he was just pumping up his team.
Behind closed doors is a different story. The frustration during the game is a different story. Okay, but ain't nobody ever came out and said, "Oh, my ball was 20 yards short, but he ran the wrong route."
Not yet.
I mean, listen, when we saw Du Bois or whatever his name is running that middle route and two through it and it got picked, we knew he ran the wrong route. Ain't nobody say nothing.
Leroy was unemployed 2 days later. I think we knew.
I know, but
they
I'm
publicly
just,
did make their statement on him.
But I'm just saying. You can't be that guy saying
Leroy,
that. What?
Leroy.
Yes.
When a quarterback's a little bit more tenured than
it doesn't matter though. You don't call out your players like that.
It's rude.
You don't.
And usually what you're supposed
because
to do
here's what it does. Here's what it does, Tobin. It makes and I've played with guys like this. Okay? And it always ends poorly. You think you're up here and you treating everybody else like they down here. And that could be the fact. But you can't act like that in a sport. You can't.
Yeah, and I think the thing that's been interesting about it though is that there was all this outrage the week beforehand of like from him where he's like, "Oh, I would never get the coach fired. That I would never do that."
Right.
And so then there has to be this whole cover up, and then he's throwing teammates under the bus, and his best friend is back on the team. So as the old saying goes, actions speak louder than words.
Correct. Like all his actions with everything that everybody's suggesting seems more likely that it's true based on his past and present actions than what he said.
That being said, not the only team to make a trade yesterday, Leroy, as your Browns have begun selling. Amari Cooper was traded to the Buffalo Bills for a 2025 third and a 2026 7th round pick. What was your reaction to the Browns being rats up a ship on Amari? There was some buzz before the season.
I was like, listen, this was equivalent to I went to the rim store and got me some $4,000 rims, but I'm driving a Fiat. You see what I'm saying? You got a quality wide receiver, a tactician. You got a tactician at his job, one of the best route runners in the league, and you ain't got nobody to throw it to. Case in point,
did you watch that Cleveland-Philadelphia game?
Oh God, please!
That was horrible.
Yeah.
You think?
No, like I really watch it. I'm like, wow, he's checked down Charlie.
And you know what the problem is, Vlad? Here's the problem. There's guys open. There's a number of plays where you have, two of your options open. 2 or 3. I get if a guy's running the wrong route. Them guys are running the hell out of these routes and are coming and wide open, waving hands and stuff like that on the all 22. So I have been the most supportive, and Tobin will tell you this, and they'll tell you this in Cleveland. I have been one of those guys saying, be patient, it's coming. He's got no, because you can tell me, you can show me a lot of things, but when I see on the film, guys wide open, and you ain't even looking in that direction, you can't play the position. It's simple as that.
With guys wide open.
And that's, you know what happens? That's what happens when you see a guy and the offense is struggling, and then another guy come in, and all of a sudden they run the same damn offense, and they seem to be moving it like Drake May. They ain't win, but they was moving the ball down the field with the same offense. So I'm thinking to myself, that guy, the previous guy wasn't looking in the right places.
Happened with Mason Rudolph to the Dolphins.
Right.
Ugh.
So man, I'm frustrated as hell. I'm less frustrated than Vlad because I wasn't expecting them because I hadn't seen it. Right? I didn't think they'd get beat like this, but I thought until I see Deshaun Watson actually play the position, then I can't have any faith that they're going to be able to do anything, especially without being able to run the ball consistently.
It's just at the point they just gotta cut bait, man. It's over. Like you just gotta you gotta bite the bullet. I know that they're going to be in hell for the next 2 years.
No. Here's what you do. You ready? You send a first and a third in that money.
Not gonna happen. Not gonna happen, dude. Not gonna happen.
I know it's not.
No one's taking that contract
because not only is it a lot of money, but the individual is toxic.
Yeah, no one's doing that.
Right.
Dude. No one's doing that. You need to cut bait and go just do Broncos. Go get a rookie, whoever it is.
This is what pisses me off. The Cleveland Browns finally win something and they lose.
Yeah.
Right? They finally win the player that 3 or 4 or 5 teams was trying to get.
Yeah, but you had to give him the most ridiculous deal in NFL history.
That's the cost of doing business. So, but still, they lost.
Yeah, they did.
So I don't know, man.
Nick Chubb's coming back.
Yeah.
Should he?
Yeah.
Well, that's another question.
Yeah, I don't know, man. But I think we're in my feelings are a little more disappointment than what yours are, Vlad. Right?
Yeah, I still think our season's salvageable with 11 games. But your situation is this: you got to tank in order to get a top quarterback and
100%.
We don't have a first round pick, dude. You gave them all away. Remember?
Still?
You gave 3 or 4 first round picks.
No, I think you have a first round pick.
Wait, he been going that long? They're done?
2025.
Remember he gave the 11 game suspension year.
Yeah. Browns have their pick. In fact, NFL.
Bro.
I got you mock Shador Sanders right now on ESPN.com. Perfect. Or Cam Ward. Oh, Cam Ward, baby.
I think to be honest with you, and I'm starting to see this, and I know people may take this the wrong way, but the quarterbacks that seem to have longevity and the quarterbacks that seem to be sustainable are the quarterbacks that can't run, the quarterbacks that have to read defenses from the pocket. Now, the other guys are great and awesome with their ability to make plays and run, but eventually that is going to have to be in the pocket. And so I don't I'm just looking at that, Kirk Cousins still playing football, right? And it's because he can play from the pocket.
I can't believe you guys are both sitting here boo-hooing, and I got to deal with another week of Snoop Huntley, and then no idea if anybody can block for him, and no idea if he knows the offense, and they're going on the road.
Here's the difference. We both got our quarterbacks, and you can at least say Tua's coming back or something along those lines. You got hope. You got hope.
Tua's coming back, and it's gonna feel like every time he's taking a snap, it's just like, please don't let this be the one.
No, you can't. You can't worry about that.
Oh, it's gonna be impossible not to, dude.
Yeah,
Impossible not. I swear to God, he better not run 1 yard.
Dude, can I just tell you? When I came back from the hospital, right? I thought about that, like what you're saying. Ooh, when I get hit again, I was like, leave it. Just like I'm gonna get hurt more if I go in there half-ass.
I mean this totally respectfully though. Like, don't you get annoyed now though, because he's not treated like everybody else, and they're going, if it happens again, it's not even what his health is going to be. It's
we've
just
had
like
this
it
argument.
is now.
We've had this argument from the beginning.
I know, and this is how it's going to be from now on.
But
That's the thing.
It's something, in like it's a topic. Let's put it that way. The people that are creating the topics don't know a damn thing about health, right? And so what I would say to you is this: if he is cleared, then you go play football. If you have second thoughts about it and you can't put all of yourself into it, then don't play. And that's how you have to approach it. If I'm in, I'm all in. If I'm not, then I have to question whether I should be out here at all. Because if you question it, that's how your ass get hurt even more.
We'll take a break here on the show. Back with more after this.
Got what you
All right, welcome back, everybody. Hey, come out and watch the Canes with WQAM and Solana this Saturday at noon at the Quarterdeck on University Drive in Davie as they take on Louisville. Enjoy ice-cold beer specials and get yourself entered to win a golf foursome at Jacaranda Golf Club in Plantation. You like that place, yeah, Leroy? I feel like you've gone there.
Where?
Jacaranda?
Yeah, I golf there every weekend.
There you go.
Yeah, I'm still going through a little bit of a. They redoing the golf course.
Iguanas?
No, they're redoing the golf course.
Trying to think
So
if
you
that's
got
what
to
it's
kill the old grass and plant the new grass.
It's like Bruce Lee said. He didn't say that.
Okay. Thank you. You thought about it. You thought about it. It's probably
-1.
I like it because it's 2 golf courses. We alternate. It's close and it's fun to play.
I'll tell you what was fun to play.
What?
Dude, last night was
boy.
the most fun preseason games I have ever been to. I mean, it was a delight yesterday.
Because you had 2 antagonists playing on either side.
It was so much fun. Jimmy Butler was just having the time of his life, trolling the holy hell out of Chris Paul yesterday. I went for Wemby, but I stayed for the shenanigans. It was a great time. I mean, everybody hates Chris Paul so much, but I'll tell you what you don't do. Chris Paul.
What's
Don't
that?
mess with the younglings.
You don't mess with Jimmy Butler's brate. You don't mess with Nikola Jović. And he got a little too cute yesterday, and Jimmy Butler was not having it, Leroy. And he spent that entire game, even when he was on the bench, because Chris Paul played a lot yesterday. I mean, I don't know what Pop was doing. He's 40. But he had him playing a lot. And Jimmy Butler, even when Jimmy was done, he was mocking him. He was making fun of him for getting put into a travel by Drew Smith yesterday. He was having the time of his life messing with Chris Paul. It was a delight.
Are they friends or are they rivals?
Oh, I don't think they're friends. This is not the first run-in that they've had. The last time
I think the only people that are friends with Chris Paul is the Banana Boat guys.
I think so.
To have it would be the Banana Boat guys. Pause.
Yeah, it is. I think that's it. But he is just, dude. He was just annoying him yesterday to holy hell. He shoved him and then just starts. Yeah, he's doing this to him after like Chris Paul is like, please review that. He goes, yeah. They were reviewing for a flagrant foul, barely touched him. And the referees are like, and the referees have to go do it because Chris Paul's going to bully him. And everybody just loves it because they all hate Chris Paul's guts. You can look at the entire Heat bench. They all hate Chris Paul's guts. They're so happy with it, what Jimmy did. And he's just telling them to shut the hell up.
You know Chris Paul's old when he has to wear long johns to play basketball.
Oh, yeah. He's old, dude.
Like, his whole body is like all wrapped up.
Yep. Spent the entire.
It's amazing that Jimmy and Bam are almost the same size.
Oh man, Bam was good yesterday. Let me tell you.
Yeah, he looked good.
He whooped Wembanyama's ass.
Hey, that's the guy right now. I don't care what y'all say,
dude.
This team goes as Bam goes.
He was incredible yesterday.
Yeah, like y'all can put whatever twist y'all want on it. Y'all could mix it up, shake it up, spit it out with all different combinations. This team goes as Bam goes.
Starts that game yesterday, 3 right over Wembanyama. I was like, oh, that's good.
I'm mad because I think he could have always been doing this stuff.
So is there over under on Bam 3-pointers this season?
I wanted 200, Vlad.
He wanted 203.
I wanted 200 attempts.
200 attempts.
Oh, attempts. Okay.
I wanted attempts, and Leroy was like, "Come on, man." So I had to cut it down to 100 attempts.
Can we reboot that?
Yeah,
because I did some math.
Uh-huh.
If you shoot 3 threes a game, that's 240.
Right.
So you don't even have to average 3 a game.
I know.
So I'm gonna come off of that a little bit after I did the numbers. I crunched the numbers.
You crunched the numbers.
And I'm closer to you than to 100.
Because if you go, even if you go like, all right, let's say Bam plays 75 games.
If he shoots 2 a game, that's 150.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Listen, if you're a 3-point shooter, you're going to have one of them days where you're 5 for 8.
Well, this is the thing that's interesting about them, Leroy, is if you go look at the Heat shot chart, not to get all nerdy on everybody.
They're all threes.
But
Everybody
they are doing
threes.
it is the Duncan Robinson diet. It is threes and at the rim. That is what they're doing. They are trying to eliminate the mid-range game.
So they're eliminating Jimmy, unless Jimmy's shooting threes.
Jimmy's going to shoot threes, and Jimmy's very good at the rim. Like that's what they're going to go to. The other thing is the Heat have been, I mean, terrorizing everybody on defense. They have 15 steals in each of their 3 games, 45 steals in 3 preseason games.
That's that length.
I was like, what is going on here?
That's that length.
Yeah, it was a fun, but let me tell you about that Wembanyama. Tall.
Dude, I'm telling you.
Tall.
Like when you think about this.
Hold on, Leroy. Hold on, Leroy. You just now realize that
you got to see it on Vlad. I'm just
like, come on, no, that's a minus.
Oh, dude.
Dude, can I just
minus
tell you?
-1.
We took pictures with Shaq.
Yeah.
And we at least go up to Shaq's shoulders.
Yep.
Right? I was looking Wembanyama right in the nipples. Like all he has to do is tippy toe to dunk.
It's ridiculous. That was the thing that stood out the most because I'm like, he kind of looks like a little bit of a bigger KD. But then when they go to him just like dunking it, it looks like a toy to him. It doesn't even look like a game. It's ridiculous. Tall. Telling you, dude.
Look.
You know what? And he's coordinated. That's the thing.
Right.
Yeah.
His tall and coordination. His coordination is unbelievable. That's why he doesn't look like any of these
how can he miss a layup?
7'2" plus.
I don't understand. I don't care if it's practice or whatever. How the hell could you miss a layup?
He's trying to make it too hard on himself.
If he ever came up, it would be over.
Yeah.
That guy that's guarding him is like 6'5".
Yeah.
So like
it's like it's silly.
I'm telling you, he walked through the tunnel, right? We were all there because when we went last year, we were there for the black thing.
Yep.
And I was like, I ain't never met a man that I was staring at his nipples when he walked by. Right?
No, that makes you you start questioning yourself.
Yeah, I'm like, am I short? And then thank God Lorenzo was standing next to me.
you have no limits.
Hey, that's my guy. And, even though he ignored me.
Well, he thought you were attacking him.
No, he said he have no idea. He said my windows were blacked out. I'm like, dude, come on now.
He's a giant.
But he is tall. And the thing is Vlad, you are so right. The coordination, because all the guys that's been tall like that,
they're not
like they can barely run. They're not coordinated.
Look at that. It's ridiculous.
Look, he didn't even leave his feet to dunk.
Oh, he never has to. He really never has to.
Nope. That's why like all this action, ridiculous. Waste of time.
Oh my God. Oh,
waste of time.
See, and then as soon as we call him coordinated,
he tripped over somebody. It's not that he fell on his own. So he fell onto he tripped. Embiid's not coordinated for a big man.
Right.
I was wondering this about the NBA. Why don't they put those cameramen in like little boxes?
Yeah.
Because you block people.
No, you want to get kicked in the groins like that guy.
No, because here's why. Here's the theory. Right? Here's the theory.
Is it the Paul George thing?
If you put him into a box, the box can't move, and you risk more injury.
Okay.
Now, the cameraman never moves anyway, but at least they can turn and kind of protect everybody involved. I personally don't feel the need when guys are trying to avoid people and cameras and all that, to have all those people right there.
It's
Like,
crazy.
you telling me you can't find a different camera angle? Hell, in football, they got strings and crap going on. Like, you can't find another way to video or
And
film
they
that
look
doesn't put the players in.
And they
harm's way.
also look so uncomfortable. They're like crisscross applesauce with a
Right.
giant
Like,
camera on their shoulders.
right. And that camera's
Crazy.
not light.
No,
That
no.
camera is not light. I put one on my shoulder. I'm like, wow, you do this for like 5 hours? He goes, yeah, you get used to it. I said, you don't switch arms? He goes, nope.
Wild. All right, we'll take a break. More to come here. But before we go to break here, Leroy, Wembanyama, even as tall as he was and needed
got a
something
guy.
custom, we got a
Clean the
guy
suit.
for you, Wemby. All right. Whenever you're down in South Florida again, I saw you strolling up yesterday with your South Beach finest. But I imagine it's a giant. I imagine may not be easy to find the things tailored for you. Well, you might want to call A&T Dry Cleaners and our boy R over there because they got a seamstress on site, same day adjustments. Leroy, all you got to do is just call Ara.
Just give them a call, 954-610-9383. They serve all of South Florida, Dade, Broward, and Southern Palm Beach, and they got a deal for you. That's right. You mentioned you heard AT&T from Tobin and Leroy, and you get 25% off your offer. Give them a call at 954-610-9383. They do have a seamstress on site who can do same-day alterations, but you need to get a quote. You need to see if they can do it because some of these things take a little bit of time. So don't get caught up. Just give them a call. Give our a call. Halloween costume, kids' uniforms, teachers. You got to, you lost a little weight. You're getting ready for the new year. Just give them a call. 954-610-9383.
Yeah, maybe you want to be Wemby for Halloween and you need those pants looking extra long for the costume. They got that all there for you. Once you use A&T Dry Cleaners, you're never going to want to launder your own clothes again. They got it all for you. Uniforms, sports uniforms, teacher wardrobe, all of that there for you. Lost a little weight, you need it adjusted. A&T Dry Cleaners are 40 years, family-owned and run. They got that extra special care for you. And again, as Leroy mentioned, that you heard us on the Tobin and Leroy show. Ara is going to give you 25% off your order. 954-610-9383. A&T Dry Cleaners. All right, welcome back, everybody. Tobin and Leroy take you up until 2 here on the program. Play a little rats off a ship here on a Wednesday. I want to let you guys know WQM is supporting Neighbors for Neighbors and their Hurricane Milton relief effort. If you guys would like to donate goods, including tarps, generators, yard waste bags, and canned goods, please drop them off at Global Empowerment Mission Headquarters in Doral. For more info on how you can help, go to WQAM.com. And thank you for your support. If you guys missed it yesterday, the Yankees took a 2-0 series lead, beat the Guardians 6-3. Aaron Judge hit his first home run of the postseason. Only his third hit of the postseason. Let's get going, Judge. What are you doing, dude? Jesus. NLCS, that gets going again tonight. Game 3, Mets and Dodgers. That series even at 1 apiece. Dolphins will be back on the practice field as they get ready for the Indianapolis Colts. And hopefully, respectfully, one more start with a backup quarterback before they get Tua back next week. Although, Indy's like, they're fine. Like, this isn't if you come out of this 2-2 without Tua, definitely a win for the Dolphins. Definitely a win to be 500.
But here's the deal, and I agree with you 100%.
Yep.
So that means they weathered the storm.
They have weathered the storm, but I still have
a lot of teams that have lost players and have gone in the tank. You see what I'm saying?
Who's got? I mean, like when you say gone in the tank, that's Cleveland pretty much. Like tank. Who had it?
They got all their guys. They got most of their guys except for Chuck. So, and most would say if you have your quarterback and not your running back, you should still be fine. That's a whole different situation.
I would say
it's a good question, Tobin. Who's lost? Lost the player, and then they've.
Richardson, they weathered the storm, and now they're gonna put him back in.
I would say if you were to really look around the league right now, like probably the biggest disappointment in the league has got to be Jacksonville.
Right. Everybody is accounted
they
for.
They got their guys.
Everybody's accounted for. Like Jacksonville has completely gone in the toilet. Cleveland is 1-5. Like, come on, dude. Bengals still hanging in there, although they haven't.
Are they?
They're hanging in there. They're hanging in there.
What are they, 1-4?
No, they're 2-4. They won on Monday Night Football.
Okay.
They won on Monday Night Football.
So here's the thing, Leroy. They win 2 more. You're in the halfway point of the season. You're 4-4.
Right. No, I know. I get it. But
that's what I'm saying. So
but based on what you've seen here, the only reason why you're saying that, the only reason is because we got Joe Burrow.
And isn't that every team? Why is no?
Yes.
Leroy, hold on.
All right.
The Dolphins win on Sunday. They're 3-3.
Right.
With Tua coming back, right?
Correct.
So why isn't that the reason why the fan base would be excited? Because
did you see those 2 games with Skylar Thompson?
Exactly.
It was one game.
So that's
one
what
game.
I'm saying.
Well, yeah. So I'm just saying different, but they've had all their guys the whole year. So if they're 500 ball club halfway through the season,
no, it's definitely one. I still think they have a lot of concerns that we've seen. I don't think that. Look, you've beaten the way that it would be. Like this one would probably be their most impressive win of the season. Because
I don't like. There's not impressive wins right now, or not impressive. Just get them. I don't care if it's 3-0. See, that's the point. Like everybody wants just win football games. That's what you got to do right
now. But once you get like the thing that stood out before Tua got hurt is they were getting boat raced by Buffalo, and it was a lot of it just playing real poor football. And I think that's the thing is the Dolphins haven't really played. Even the Patriots game, Leroy, they did not play well in that game.
Now, here's what I would also say about that. There's been bad football throughout the entire NFL because nobody played preseason. And how much of that are we going to include in all these?
We're almost at the end of the second month.
No, but the defense has gotten better, right? And those are the guys that have mostly been like the scheme and everything.
Well, I think
didn't have to. So what I'm saying is this: like the parts of the team think of that Buffalo game.
Mm-hmm.
Offense was terrible, but then Tua got hurt.
Yep.
The defense,
the game was already over when Tua got hurt, though.
right? The defense was giving up whatever Buffalo wanted to do, but they've been better.
Yeah, I thought but no, I think that the defense that's been the thing I think that frustrates most fans about this, right? Is like the Dolphins team that looked like they were going to contend last year. That was, motion and too fast and nobody could catch up to it, has been completely stuck in the mud. And I'm including Tua games, all of it. I'm going back to last year with this. The defense has shown balls. Like they have come through. It hasn't been perfect, but they've given them chances.
Right. I would say this. One of the things that offensively they have to understand is that you cannot lose to a set defense, right? And what happens is you run all that motion, all that quick stuff, and all that, and all this stuff right here, and all defenses are doing is just dropping back. You're not affecting them the way the motion used to. And that's what teams are starting to do. They're watching you run around like a fire drill, and they're just sitting back and waiting.
Yep.
They're not reacting. You don't see guys running across the field with Tyreek. You don't see guys rotating. No, they're just sitting back and going, here are the plays they run. They're going to come to us. So instead of having all that fancy motion, right, what happens if they just line up one time? Go. That'll catch them off guard. No motion on a play for the Dolphins? Oh, no, what are we going to do? I thought they were going to motion on the other side of the field. They didn't. You got to change it up. If what you're doing is not affecting the defense in the way that you think it should, right? Now, part of this is also the issue of you got guys who aren't as detailed as Tyreek and Tua and Waddle and some of these guys. So that plays a role into it too.
Right.
But the adjustments that would have had to be made playing these teams that kind of figured you out a little bit really couldn't be made with the new guys.
That was like the one positive, even with all the undiscipline and the shooting yourself in the foot. The one and getting out of New England with a win was all right. You kind of just ran up you had an identity. You ran the damn football.
Right.
You weren't cute with it.
Mm-hmm.
That I think was
more of that.
Yeah, that definitely has to be still in the bag until Tua gets back, and even when he gets back.
When he gets back, but here's the other thing. I'm gonna say this, and I'm gonna say it, and only a football person will understand what I'm saying.
Great, I can't wait to understand it. I'm ready. I'm ready.
The type of runs that they have, and it changed last week when Mostert was in. One of the things that running the football does is it wears down the defense. But the type of runs that you have don't do that, because there's a lot of tackles by corners and safeties because you're running out wide and they're just getting everybody there. So while you're having success running the ball and the numbers look good, you are not dominating the line of scrimmage. And that's a weird thing. It's a weird thing because you look at the rushing numbers, and whenever I tell you how many times they run the football, right? That's a true test. It's not with this team. They can run for a boatload of yards, and they still don't dominate the line of scrimmage. And I can't explain it, but they did it a little bit more with Mostert because they got it inside a little bit more. He's a little more physical.
And Jalen Wright, too.
Jalen Wright.
That was a good thing to see because he's beefier,
Right. And so that's like it's a weird dynamic of this offense.
Wasn't it Tyreek who was making fun of the idea because they were out, and he goes, "Oh yeah, we're gonna dominate the line of scrimmage with a 160-pound running back."
Yeah,
and it's not that Achian's not awesome, like he is.
Don't worry. You know what's funny? When I was in Cleveland with my boy Metcalf, this is all you could hear. We go onto the field. Bill, If I see another Metcalf up the middle, I'm gonna lose my mind. He was like you, and you have to change it up, right? It's hilarious. So I like if you look at they have like there's a number, right? 115 to 120 yards, right? Where if a team runs for that many yards, it goes with dominating the clock and time of possession and all these things, all these other numbers that are associated with the amount of carries and the amount of yards that you have, right? Not with this team. And I can't explain it. I wish somebody could explain it to me.
Well,
like you run for 160 yards and you barely squeak by with a victory.
right. It doesn't make sense.
It doesn't make sense.
Take a break. Back with more after this.
It's time for our Tua.
It's our Tua. It's our Tua. It's our Tua. Tua, Tua, Tua. Tonga Vailoa. Not
Tua Tagovailoa.
A for effort. Dolphins quarterback.
Tua.
It's our Tua. It's our Tua.
Tua.
Tua, Tua, Tua. Tua, Tua, Tua. Can go to hell. Tua Tonga Vailoa. Dolphins quarterback.
Daddy loves you guys.
Our Tua with Tobin and Leroy.
Check the history of food.
Hour 2 of the program, ladies and gentlemen. Tobin and Leroy here with you. 560 WQAM. Let's get the headlines. Brought to you by Doral Hyundai. Choose from over 1,300 new Hyundai miles in inventory like the Tucson, the Sonata, and the Palisade. Remember, when it comes to Hyundai, the great deals are at Doral Hyundai. Panthers closed out their road trip with a 4-3 win over the Columbus Blue Jackets.
Yes, double win.
Spencer Knight. What? Why
Took
would
the
you
Panthers -1.5.
Oh, dude, that's brutal then.
Yeah.
That's brutal then.
What, they got an empty netter at the, they got a
they went extra attacker on Spencer Knight. You know, they went extra attacker and they got it to within one very late.
4-2.
Yeah, dude. I tell you what, man, that Lusterainen, Reinhardt, and Lundy line, Paul Maurice called it the safety blanket of the team. I mean, they are just destroying on this run. They are carrying this squad. No Barkey, no Tkachuk, no problem. I will say though, Leroy, this was the home opener of the Columbus Blue Jackets. They honored the late Johnny Gaudreau.
Yeah.
And dude,
it was cool, right? Did you get the movies?
I got the waterworks this morning. I was like, it was a tough one. That was with his widow and his family and his kids all on the ice. And yeah, 13 seconds. They had, they didn't have the winger out there. The Panthers, did you see what the Panthers did?
No.
They all walked off the bus with Gatorade and Skittles, his favorite snack. That was Tkachuk's idea. And Tkachuk was busted up because they were teammates in Calgary, but he couldn't be there because he's sick. He's away. He's not with the team.
Right.
So, yeah, man, that was.
It sucks. It sucks that
that's stuff nightmares are made of. I mean, that's crazy. If you guys don't know the story, Johnny Gaudreau, aka Johnny Hockey, him and his brother were bike riding at the weekend of his sister's wedding, and they were both tragically hit by a drunk driver. Just crazy. And and I think the wife revealed that she was pregnant, like I think a couple weeks afterward. I mean, it's a heartbreaking story, but the Blue Jackets did do an incredible tribute to him last night, as did the Panthers.
That's just like
I think Sam Bennett played with him too.
All the things that happen in this world, and that just add to the,
absolutely tragic. The Cats will be back on the ice tomorrow at home against Vancouver. So the Cats and the Champs finally get to come home. I'm sure that building will be rocking. Sold out season tickets. You got
2 weeks into the season. They're finally playing their second home game.
I know.
That's crazy, right? I think they were supposed to start on the road, and they just did the first one so they could do the ceremony.
Yep. They'll be back Vancouver tomorrow night, and then Saturday at 6.
And then they go to Europe next week.
Yeah, I think they do.
They go to. I think they go to
Finland.
Yeah.
Ooh.
We are little Finland.
Home team.
Yeah.
We are basically little Finland. So yeah, go
see hockey doing stuff like this, but some of the other sports, like football playing in Brazil or football, like you ain't gonna get no like.
I heard Joe talk about this the other morning too, about the idea of them putting the Super Bowl in another country, and that
too much.
Just give him. All right, I'm fine with expanding the game. Give him a game a year. The Super Bowl? I can't stand for that. That's
I'm
our
trying to figure
heart.
out how big is football in Germany.
I don't know. But they just got it. They don't get a Super Bowl. You know how much money Stephen Ross had to put in that stadium to get Super Bowls back down here? And you're going to give it to Unz Germany?
Half
Atlanta.
a billion.
Atlanta hosting the Super Bowl in 28.
Ooh. You know,
I'm telling you, man.
Are they building a new stadium?
We're in Atlanta. They already got.
They just did. It's like a spaceship.
Yeah.
Oh, that's the new one. Okay.
Yeah.
You know, the craziest thing in the world is there's only one stadium in the NFL. They can't do a new one.
New Orleans?
Lambeau.
Yeah, New Orleans. There's nowhere to put it.
Oh, okay.
But Lambeau, for the history of it, they can keep but Lambeau, there's
what did
it's in a basically it's like my development.
Could they do anything?
You go
like,
house, Lambeau Field.
Could they do something? And I don't know the logistics of this. Could they do it in Baton Rouge for a couple of years like they did with Minnesota?
No, that's not the issue. There's nowhere to put another stadium.
They can't.
No.
Wow. By the way, speaking of, kind of sounds like UFC's coming to New Orleans.
Really?
Dustin Poirier has been doing a lot of wink. He says
who just came out of retirement?
Donald Cerrone says he wants to
Cerrone.
come out of retirement, and Dana White yesterday was very against it. Like Dana White, he's like, if he needs money, we'll figure it out. Like
he'll loan him the money instead of seeing him fight.
He's been getting his ass kicked.
Yeah, he's the all-time. He was
I
at
give
one
David credit for that. He looks out for players, the fighters' safety.
There are certain guys that he'll like. You know, you think about
he genuinely likes
the Forrest Griffins of the world. You know, the Chuck Liddells. They're like Dana does have his guys, and Cowboys. I think in that club. I mean, Cowboy literally would fight you on a day's notice. He's an insane person, but he can't win fights anymore. I mean, he's literally the last guy to lose to Conor McGregor.
with the
shoulder. And by the way, said like I basically took a dive. He's like, I didn't want to be in there. I don't understand that. But yeah, Dustin Poirier was like, wink, want to come back, bring it back to Louisiana. Dude, that place, it's gonna go bananas for him. His star rise is so cool to see because he was so underappreciated for so long. But when he knocked out Conor McGregor, dude, the kind of reception he got down here, it was insane in Miami. I can't even imagine the hometown kid gets to come back. He was trying to get it in Lafayette. He was like, can we do it at the Cajun Dome?
No.
And I don't think that's,
No.
I don't know. I don't know what
No.
how much does the Cajun Dome hold?
It would be the equivalent to putting it in the middle of the Miccosukee. Or I'm sorry. What's the lake? The lake. I'm talking about the lake up by Okeechobee. Lake. Just putting it right in the middle. Building, the Lafayette? No. You know who lives in that area?
Who?
The Duck Commanders.
That's where he's from, though.
I know.
That's where he's from.
And every time you watch Duck Commander, what'd you notice? No people.
I just think that's gonna be cool. I can't wait to see that. That sounds.
If he goes to New Orleans, they've never had one in New Orleans.
Maybe a while ago. Like it's one of those things where I think it's been like decades maybe since they've been back there.
New Orleans doesn't have the money as other cities, so that might be why also.
Maybe. Let me see. The last fight in New Orleans was in 2011, and it was at the Montreal Convention Center.
Oh my God, that's nothing.
Jake Shields versus Josh Ellenberger.
Okay, well that's why.
Attendance of 7,100.
Yeah.
Yeah. So no, they haven't had a real event there, and at the Smoothie King Center, yeah, that'd be crazy.
I'm trying to think. Yeah, I can't think of, when I was a kid. Guess who I saw fight?
Who?
Muhammad Ali.
That's cool.
in the Super
At New
Bowl.
Orleans. You did?
Mhm.
Who'd he fight?
Was it one of the Spinks brothers?
I don't know.
Or no. Who was it? It was. It wasn't one of the Spinks brothers. It was. Oh, I can't remember. Was it
I'll look it up.
75? 75? I was just little.
Fight. It was at the Superdome?
Yeah.
Let's see. Muhammad Ali. Yeah, he fought Leon Spinks.
Leon Spinks. Okay. Yeah.
September 15th, 1978.
I was 10 years old.
Wow. Dave South says that you saw Joe Louis fight.
Yeah, of course. Thank you. Thank you.
He
kicked Joe
Louis's ass.
Thank you. So and it's crazy. You know what's funny about sports? You don't think it's that big of a deal when you're there. And now you think about it, it's like, wow, that was a rare, thing.
That's incredible. Yeah, it's incredible. That's like even when we had like the stuff here for the Canelo fight. Like, I don't care that he took on the Turkish Wolf. Ridiculous. But we still at least got to see him fight. That was cool. I mean, I know we went to go see him fight, but like we saw in Las Vegas.
Favorite part of going to the fights with you is you're excited about all of the ancillary things. And this is where I remember we went to see Rigondeaux versus Chucky. Wait. And Tobin goes, hey, watch this. He's getting ready to come out with a giant Chucky doll. Remember the doll? Oh my god.
By the way, speaking of boxing, I saw our boy Harold Calderon, I think is getting a title fight. I think he's fighting on De La Hoya's card coming up. I think I just saw him post that. He's going to be in Vegas. When is this? Harold, you're fighting November 2nd.
Is he ready? You know what I mean? Because we had the conversations about size and power. Is he ready?
I think so. I gotta be honest, I don't know the guy that he's fighting, but it's a WBO title fight. So it's a legit belt, man. It's on the zone.
They said you saw Sugar Ray fight Jake LaMotta.
Come on, man.
We'll take a quick break. Back with more shenanigans on the other side.
This
Number 2 with Tobin and Leroy.
All right, welcome back, everybody. Tobin and Leroy here with you, 560 WQAM. Leroy going off to do his Cleveland hit. I'm sure that's going to be positive today. Wow.
Jameis, you think that's what they're chanting right now?
I think they have to be, dude. I think they have to be at this point. I don't know, man, who do they even have this week? Like, what is rock bottom for them if it is not now? I don't know. I don't know what.
Cincinnati this week.
That may do it. I mean, you lose another divisional game, and then Cincinnati kind of gets their ship right, and you're completely. It's a huge game because, like, if Cincinnati gets that win, they're what? They're 3-4, and then Cleveland drops to 1-6. Yeah, dude, I think that's curtains. So, yeah, perhaps this is this.
If you're giving Amari Cooper away, Tobin, who else are they going to give away? And why can't the Dolphins get involved in some of these players that,
Yeah, I don't know. This is one of the things where I see a lot of the Dolphin fans, and I get the frustration because, you watch your two division rivals go and make big moves. I mean, they're moves that you weren't going to make because you have your star receivers. So, you have to take that with a grain of salt. Obviously, the Jets are all in because Aaron Rodgers is old. You have to. Like, if you legitimately have gone the full Aaron Rodgers buy-in, it is his organization, go do what he wants, and then protect him and make sure you let them all know. You have, megaphones like Pat McAfee let you know that it wasn't him, and that they won't question him on anything. And then all of a sudden, Devontae Adams is there. The Bills, look, to me, that's the bigger issue right now. You got your Jets games coming up later on in the year, but that Dolphins matchup against Buffalo on the road with what is hopefully going to be a Tua who is looking okay. I mean, that's the hope is if you can get yourself to 3-3 this week, coming off the bye, if Mike McDaniel can finally get this offense humming in the right direction, look like a competent football team, and what's not an easy game by any means, especially with the, you basically consider the Dolphins wins, whether you want to give him credit or not. I know Leroy, I only say this because he's gone, because I know he would jump down my throat.
Oh, now that he's gone, let's get into this. Let's play games.
But
what is this week?
You got 2 wins against arguably 2 of the worst teams in the league. Barely. Okay. You never led against Jacksonville.
It doesn't matter. You won. It doesn't
matter. It does. But it does though, Vlad. It does matter when you really are trying to assess this thing, because the big dirty secret about the Dolphins, and I told you this, week 2 is a statement game against Buffalo. And this has all been thrown under the umbrella of, yes, Tua got hurt, but they were getting the snot kicked out of them before he got hurt in that game.
And that's absolutely true. So what is week 7? What is this week 7 game after a bye, a winnable game on the road against a 3-3?
It's almost a reset. Like, that's what it is. If you are able to get yourself to 3-3, it's almost like the season starts over again. If Tua comes back, if Tua truly comes back and is back week 8, and you're able to get yourself to 3-3, it's almost like the season is a clean slate. I don't know, because you have this game going at home, a place you're good at, Tua's been good at, a winnable game, not exactly the most dynamic team in the world, but they, you never know, they've pulled out some interesting ones against their divisional rivals this year. And then that all sets up for a road matchup against Buffalo, which is really going to show, for me, it's going to show, is this season truly going anywhere? We're going to know over these 3 weeks.
So 4-3 going into Buffalo would show you a lot.
Oh yeah, absolutely. It would show me a lot. Even and look, even if they aren't able to pull out this week and they are able to get back into 500 against the Cardinals if Tua's back, there'll still be some set of that. It'll be a line drawn in the sand. To me, it all is going to come down to week 9 above. I mean, unless they lose the next 2, then you're getting a little ridiculous. But if the Dolphins even split these next 2, you'll be at a point going to that week 9 game that is going to it is going to be one of those line in the sands of, okay, are we for real, or is this all just a waste of time because Buffalo is going to go running high with the division again, and you'll be scrapping for a wild card and probably end up in Antarctica in the first round, and it won't work out if at all. That's the most optimistic view of it. But no, if there is a path here to the Dolphins fixing this disaster, there is a path.
There is.
It's not. I don't feel fantastic about it, but if you are able to get through the Tua-less games at 2-2, you did your job. Then it comes down. Then the pressure really picks up, though, because you're sitting here and being like, all right, Tua, we look at you as the guy who is a miracle worker. You're going to make the offense hum again, which it really wasn't humming with him there anyway. You're going to have these expectations. He better go up and have one of these dazzling performances against Arizona to up your confidence. And yeah, again, I just feel like that week 9 matchup is going to be absolutely monstrous, because if you lose again to Buffalo and you get swept again by Buffalo, I mean, what are we doing? Because the odds are at that point, Vlad, the odds are, even if you catch both, they'll have the tiebreaker over you.
Right.
So they're going to win another division.
Over you, but Tobin, can you also cut him a little slack? Could probably be his second game back since the injury, since the concussion. So he might not be.
I would cut him slack if it was his first game.
But the second game?
I mean, what are we doing here? Like,
Vlad,
by all accounts, everybody has said, okay, I know that the way the injury looked was scary, and I'm no doctor, okay? So I don't mean to sound
that he's been ready to go like the last couple of weeks.
I don't mean to sound insensitive on this, but everybody has been like great spirits, going to Disney on Ice, acting completely normal around his teammates. Yeah, he's talked to some experts, but this hasn't been the back and forth of, oh, should he continue to play? Should he play the rest of the year? What's this going to look like? It hasn't been that. You'll definitely be thinking about it when Tua plays. It's impossible not to think about it. I don't want him to run for another yard. I don't care. Do your jujitsu, do your back rolls. I don't want any of this nonsense of trying to pick up first downs. You pass for your first downs now, Tua. That's what you do. We don't run for 10. Every time, Nick Saban has said this, every time this guy tries to extend a play, bad things happen, okay? It just does. Let it go. He needs to just, that's who you are. It's okay. I understand that he got a little false sense of security last year, and he didn't like the way that his body felt. Tough nuggets. We're here to survive, to have a long-term career in the NFL. And running ain't for you, dude. It's just not. You're not big enough. You're not fast enough. You're not elusive. There's no point to it. You are a good quarterback. I truly believe that. I think you're a great passer. But the running thing has got to stop. It's stupid. It's a stupid thing. It was stupid since Frog Boy was badgering him about it. It was stupid that any trainer that got in his ear, whether it be John Becker or whomever that was telling him to lose weight, it was stupid advice. He should have been wearing a gi this entire time. All he should have been doing was doing jujitsu instead of losing weight. He should be able to basically do backflips now so he doesn't hit his head. It is the number one thing that they should have been focused on. And instead, they said, why don't we make him a dual threat quarterback? And I'm like, for what? For 30 yards of rushing? He's not fast. It's ridiculous. Schmeathan says, two people who aren't built to run, Tua and Tobin. Exactly, dude. Which is why you should take this advice from me. So silly.
But don't you think then, Tobin, and this week, this is on Coach. This is on Coach McDaniel.
Oh, it's been on Coach McDaniel.
I know, but this one is really on Coach McDaniel because you had a bye week.
Yes.
So the offense should be a little bit better than what we saw against New England. He's had Snoop Huntley's had a couple more weeks inside the state, inside Dolphins facilities. He has a couple more weeks being more comfortable with the offense. I need to see Coach do some things this weekend against Shane Steichen and the Indianapolis Colts.
Yeah, it's an interesting thing because they're in a little bit of a wild card because we don't know what they're going to get with their quarterback coming back.
And no Jonathan Taylor, I believe. He
might not play. He's got the high ankle sprain. I mean, we'll continue to take a look at that. Their run game without him definitely suffers for sure. That's a big blow for them. Then that probably means you would want Richardson to run a little bit more, but then like he's coming off the hip injury and he has dealt with durability issues. So are they going to be more cautious about that? Because that the interesting thing with them is Steichen has already taken heat because they feel like everybody feels like they sent him out injured the last time around. So that'll definitely be an interesting dynamic that has to be looked at. But as far as McDaniel's concerned, yeah, the pressure's on him. I did see Jalen Waddle this week was asked because he said that Snoop reached out to him during the bye and was asking could he throw, and it didn't sound like Jalen Waddle came in and did extra throwing. It sounded like he was enjoying his bye week, which
you know what I've noticed this year. If there's one guy you've been counting down on, it's been number 17 for the Dolphins.
You know, and this
You
kind of
called him Jalen Wobble. I
don't think I called him that. I don't think I called him that.
Yes, you did. You called him Jalen Wobble. Yes, I have.
I don't think I did. I don't think I did.
We have it. We have it.
I don't think I called him that. But the bigger point is, it's not that I'm hard on Jalen Waddle. I say this as somebody who is a big Jalen Waddle fan. I just think this is a big year. Need everybody to step up where they can. And in the windows of these games where he's had opportunities to step up, he has not. He has not. And now your quarterback was looking for you. He's like, hey Jalen, can we get a couple more throws in, buddy? Yeah, he gives you the old Magic Johnson. I'm not going to be there. You know, Jalen Waddle's a bum. Get him off the team already and trade him for Devontae Adams. Too late. Jalen Waddle going out there. Fat pockets, no catches. That's true. No touchdowns. Van Ginkel has more touchdowns than you. 2 more touchdowns than you. But look, every once in a while, I do this with the guys that I love. Duncan Robinson, Carter Verhaeghe, Jalen Waddle. Sometimes you need a little Tobs Tough Love. That's it. I am a fan of Jalen Waddle. Just like to see you step up. Let's go. And if Snoop is out there and he's asking you to throw a little more, you should have been there. You can't be lackluster on the field, okay? We've had no Waddle. Have you seen Stephen Ross do his sexy dance? Not once, dude.
Stephen Ross do a sexy dance.
He
that sexy
basically gave you that extension so he could do his sexy dance Waddle. You want to know why, dude? Because he took his Blue Chew. That's what Stephen Ross had going for him. Let me tell you about our friends over at Blue Chew. Blue Chew is a unique online service that delivers the same active ingredients as Viagra and Cialis, but in a chewable form and at a fraction of the cost. Now you can chew it and do it. Whether you want to waddle in the bedroom, wobble in the bedroom, make big-time catches in the bedroom, Blue Chew is for you. Whether you're married looking to spice things up or single trying to impress someone new, your partner wants you to be your best in the bedroom. Have your own little TD celebration when you score. Got a special deal for all our listeners out there, all right? You guys can try Blue Chew for free when you use the promo code SHOWPONY. Use the promo code SHOWPONY at checkout. You're paying just $5 for shipping, but you are getting your first month of Blue Chew for free. Use the promo code SHOWPONY at checkout, and you're getting your first month of Blue Chew for free. Go to BlueChew.com, BlueChew.com.
Leroy.
All right, welcome back, everybody. Tobin and Leroy here with you, 560 WQAM. Take you guys up until 2. Let's mix it on up here, dude. We got the mixed bag. Miami Hurricanes getting set for a high noon showdown with the Louisville Cardinals. Always a thorn in the Canes side, many a years. And this is definitely one of those you want to keep the ACC rolling. Every game feels uber important for the Miami Hurricanes. You, of course, are going out on the road. I'm sure it's going to be a crazy environment for them. And this Canes team is getting a lot of attention. I think it's been very noticeable. Every time the Canes are on top, it does feel like people are dying to see them follow this through, and you don't want to let down, whether it be the times when the turnover chain was coming back, and now you got the Cam Ward, Zombieland Selly that Western Kentucky's coming for copyright infringement on because he made it more popular than they did. And it is a really cool thing. You know, Cam Ward certainly deserves a bulk of the credit for bringing the Miami Hurricanes here. But also, to see where he's at now in these mock drafts, to see where he's at now. I saw one today, Vlad. ESPN Plus has him top 5 pick. Would be the first Canes top 5 pick in 20 years. Sean Taylor, if he were taken in the top 5 going to the Las Vegas Raiders. That's what kind of year this has been right now. So while he has certainly, I think, brought the Canes to new heights, it is cool also to see him do it on a stage. I think that brand still means a lot to college football. And so for him to have this this background of doing this and bringing the Miami Hurricanes to another level would just be absolutely monstrous. But one guy who has been through the nitty-gritty, the thick of it all, has been Xavier Restrepo. And that man, he just makes badass catch after badass catch. He spoke to the media yesterday, and one of the big headlines coming out of this is that the players at 6-0 had a players-only meeting, and this is what X had to say about that.
Sure. I mean, I feel like that's why, this year's different. Guys on the team, are not satisfied with 6-0. Again, I'm going to say it over and over again. We haven't played our best ball yet. There's a very, very long way to go. Definitely reachable, and it's right in the palm of our hands. We just have to, execute better. And everybody knows that. And that's why, we keep striving for better and better and not satisfied.
There you go. Xavier Restrepo.
I'm sorry.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Are we sure this guy's not related to that MMA fighter you guys spoke to like not too long ago? Why is his left side of his face all swolled up like that?
I don't know, dude.
He looked like he was in MMA training, bro.
I don't know.
You didn't see that? You didn't see it? You didn't see?
I see it, but I don't know if that's like something that he had. Like, I know that that's kind of like the way that he looks.
I'm
I don't
just
know.
saying, he's just coming off a
I
bye.
don't think like he got punched in the face, dude. I think that's like.
I would hope not. I mean, he's coming off a bye, and he looks like.
I think it's like a thing he's had. That's not new. That's not new. Somebody's saying that he has a condition. I think his condition is that.
I didn't know that.
I don't think that's that's not a new thing. But also what his condition is making incredible catches because he's amazing.
Oh, okay. All right.
He is amazing. But yeah, I love that. I mean, the idea that he is taking it upon himself to be one of those leaders is absolutely awesome. And yeah, I just feel like, Vlad, every time you need a monster catch, there is Xavier Restrepo to go make it. He has been there with whoever the quarterback is in his time. He has been there to be his best friend, and now he is there with and he has potentially a first-round quarterback zinging the football. And I gotta tell you, he looks like he could be a hell of a pro himself with how he is just always finds himself in the right place and always comes up with a tough catch. So love that from Xavier Restrepo. Then we got this. So yesterday, the Miami Heat, they were taking on a team called the San Antonio Spurs in preseason action. Jimmy Buckets got into it a little bit with Chris Paul, but I think the thing that was great about it is you saw a Jimmy Butler who was engaged the entire game. he loves trolling Chris Paul for whatever reason. And Eric Spoelstra loves seeing his star player go out there and look like he was all in invested, stepping up for his teammates and having that kind of energy. And he says that's been there since training camp from Jimmy.
It's been great, in training camp, he's like that. You put a score on anything, he's going to go after it. And, we're the Heat, so we like all these kind of like emotions, even if it's preseason.
Yeah, it was good. Goes out there and just completely.
You're so happy for Eddie. I love it. You're like a little kid right before Christmas. Any positive Heat news, especially about Jimmy, makes you so happy.
It does make me happy.
Brings joy to you, doesn't it?
Well, I like the fact that, I do think that there was a little bit of a disconnect knowing what Jimmy was going through in his personal life last year. But I think also, the team, there was a little bit of an exhaustion. And you know what else happened, Vlad, that I really think just put a stink over last year?
What was that?
The name trade not going through. I think everybody feeling like their futures were in doubt, other than Bam or Jimmy, but Tyler, Duncan, Jaime, Nico, all of these guys had no idea they were going to be the Heat. Then you're back on the team. You're like, all right, we didn't do anything off that finals run. But this year, dude, the vibes are
no. I get that, and I'm very, very happy that it is, because I think you guys are going to do very well this season. You're my surprise, because I seen I watch. Everybody go to the YouTube channel, Tobin's YouTube channel, and you get more content of your local teams. And I saw it with one where you were like general managers, anonymous general managers, and not showing the Heat respect, which is always to me the recipe for disaster with the Miami Heat, because anytime you don't pay them respect, they go on and win the Eastern Conference.
I just think I saw Stan Van Gundy came out this week, right? And he was very blunt. He's been a pretty harsh Jimmy critic through all this, and I like Stan. I think
there's still Heat Stan.
Well, that's the thing. That's the thing that I think is interesting about it. Like, he is not as much as he is, I think, loved in the Heat organization. Every time he comes for a broadcast, that dude is hobnobbing basically from the time he walks in the arena until the game starts. And I do think Stan does a good job, but he was pretty blunt in saying he doesn't think they're in the ballpark of Boston, New York, or Philly. He doesn't think they stack up with Indy, Cleveland, or Orlando. And like, dude, I think everybody's got to go catch Boston. Obviously, I hate their guts, but you got to give them their due, even though all they do is whine about not getting their due, even though all we've done is cover Boston ad nauseum. I think the Knicks are very, very interesting. I think they're going to be a very good team, because all I've been waiting for them is to add interesting pieces around Jalen Brunson that are going to fit. Karl Anthony Towns, he's skilled. I don't know if that's going to be the final one. It's a gamble, but I think they're going to be talented. I think that they'll win a lot of games. But dude, if I have to sit here and listen to anybody, and I mean anybody, tell me about the Philadelphia 76ers, are you effing high? Like, how many times are you people going to do this to yourself? And on top of it, you're like, well, they added Paul George. He's the perfect fit. Dude, he's been the perfect fit for everybody since 2014. Okay? That has been the thing. Paul George. We got Paul George. It's going to be amazing. We got Paul George. Dude, I'm telling you right now, get the hell out of here with the Philadelphia 76ers. I will not stand for it. I actually think Indiana's a more dangerous team.
I think Milwaukee's a dangerous team.
I don't know. They're a little long in the tooth. Dude.
Okay, listen, because I want to go back to what you said.
Yep.
You said that it took the team a while to get over the Dame trade.
Right.
And I can also say maybe it took Dame a while to get over the fact that he didn't go to Miami as well.
That's true. I think Doc Rivers told Bill Simmons that like he was afraid to work out last summer because he didn't want to get hurt. But dude, there's just something about playing with Giannis. Like, I think it takes a Drew Holiday. Like, it takes an unselfish guy. I don't know about him, and it feels like on paper it should work, but I don't know. There's just something about it. And then the rest of the guys are ancient.
Right.
It's just something about it.
I'm just saying that, okay, now that everybody knows their role, nobody has to worry about being traded.
Mm-hmm.
There's a comfort level with everyone on the Miami Heat roster.
Yep.
That's a dangerous team.
I know. And then just this idea. I think everybody's more comfortable. I think Tyler's bought in to what they wanted to do. I don't know, man. So I didn't like Stan Van Gundy dismissing the Miami Heat. I thought it was a little bit much from Stan. And quite frankly, I'm a little tired of the Van Gundys.
Here's the problem.
All of them.
There's no basketball being played yet. Who cares?
Me.
Well, legit basketball.
That's literally all I
Legit
care
basketball.
about.
I know, but yeah, you can have your opinion, but until basketball is played, everybody's opinion's good. So your opinion is great too. What, Heat and 5? Great opinion. Nobody ain't played a damn bit of basketball.
I don't
yet.
like what you're doing. I don't like what you're doing. I don't like what you're doing.
It's true though.
What'd you do just now in Cleveland? You say, well, we gotta see.
No, I
You said
blasted.
Jameis? You said Jameis?
I blasted Deshaun Watson.
Did you say Jameis? You can blast.
You know that hurt.
What'd you say?
I just said I watch film and I see guys running in the secondary, waving hands wide open, and he throwing check downs. I'm like, he ain't looking in the right places. I don't know what you do about that. Getting rid of the wide receiver, that's the third step in a completion. What about the protection in the quarterback?
So you said pack it up?
Huh?
What'd you do? You say pack it up? You say bench him?
No, I didn't say you can't date. Listen, the thing about rich people, they ain't going middle loss. They gonna ride this out.
The Walmart family did.
Yeah.
By the way,
it's easy.
Why is Mike Tomlin messing with the quarterback? Or you think this is all games?
All right. Before Leroy breaks it down in football wise, let's give the fan reaction. He never said that Russell Wilson was not the starting quarterback. He said he was going to be the starting quarterback before he was injured. So in football theory, he can't lose his starting job due to injury.
Unless you're Tom Brady, Bill Belichick, and Drew Bledsoe.
Well, that's different unless you're Belichick.
And they also won the Super Bowl that year.
Well, they continue to.
Right, but I'm just saying that year they won the Super Bowl. So here, he always has an out. Here's what the out is, and all coaches use it. I know what the rule is, but it's my job to win football games. And right now, we're on a roll, and I don't want to change the team dynamic.
Right.
End of discussion.
Mm-hmm.
You see what I'm saying? So there is now, here's the real football conversation that's being had in the building. When they watch film on a daily basis and they're watching plays being run and they're seeing, okay, we designed this play. Ooh, look at this guy coming open.
Right.
Right. And he's not throwing it and he's tucking it in and running for 10 yards. That play looks great. But as a coaching staff, you're like, what we wanted to happen is there and he's not throwing it. And if you have a bunch of those situations during the course of a game, then you're like, we're winning, but this quarterback is not seeing the field right. Then you make a change, even though you're winning.
We'll take a break. More to come here on the show. Get you caught up with your headlines. Back after this.
He's tall.
All right. Welcome back. Tobin, Leroy here with you. 560 WQAM. Take you guys up until 2 here on the program. Miami Heat back on the floor tonight with some more preseason action.
Is this the Younglings game?
Oh, yeah.
Did they really need to play this game?
Say again, Vlad?
Did they really need to reschedule this game?
It's a good question. I don't think so, dude. I don't really understand it. I mean, I know you got to make your scratch. It's not a terrible travel because it is Atlanta, but I don't remember if it was New Orleans or San Antonio. One of them was supposed to take on the Magic, and they just
New Orleans said no. Yeah, New Orleans said no. They were like, nah, we don't have to do this game against the Magic.
Yeah, so I don't know. I'm with you. I don't understand the need to get it in. It's basically going to be a G League game tonight, with some high draft picks. I mean, I guess you get to see Kalel versus what's the dude's name? Restrepo, the first pick.
The first pick.
Yeah, the first number 1 pick that everybody was like, ooh.
We've had those before.
I tell you what, it was funny watching that game last night though, because Greg Popovich. It is a delight. This man is a 5-time champion. He's obviously one of the greatest coaches, if not the greatest NBA coach of all time. And you just seeing him there, and you can see he's got his jammies on. He's coaching his jammies. And he's thinking to himself, good. He got this puppy in hand. He's ready to go get his nice steak dinner, wherever it is.
Glass of red wine.
Got a little dicey there at the end.
Ooh, especially when old boy made that 3.
Yeah.
Oh, he's like, damn, now I gotta coach him up.
Exactly. He's got to be thinking, oh man, I don't want to coach him up.
And then if he would have made that 3 at the end, now we got overtime.
It's like the only active time when you're really rooting against your teammates, because nobody wants that.
Nobody wants more minutes in a preseason game.
Nobody wants that.
Oh,
dude.
Football, they always go for 2.
He was yesterday. He gets there for the pre-press conference. They were asking about some guy. I don't know who he was. He goes, I don't know. Make it up. Make up whatever you think I should say. I'll say.
How about Charles? Charles is back tonight. I don't know. He practiced this morning, but they haven't told me what he's doing.
What do you like about him?
He's tall, a good rebounder, nice kid, listens. I'll make some you want.
Hey, is he the only one that can say that?
Oh yeah.
He's tall. But you gotta know they're tired of these questions, right?
I don't know. He was out, it was funny because he comes into the press conference yesterday. He looks around, he goes, nobody else is gonna any questions? He goes, he's like, I gotta go watch film. So I don't know. It's gotta be one of those things where Pop probably he's got to go though because Wemby's playing, so he's got to manage his unicorn and see what he's gonna be. Because I gotta tell you, man, he's awesome, but I feel like the expectations are getting a little out of control for this second year.
Right.
I don't know.
But is he that good though?
He might be.
Because they do it to everybody. You come in the league that good.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
And also, yeah, I'm going to say it. The media wants him to do good.
Yeah.
I think the media has this thing of always want the foreign players to do better than the American players.
Interesting.
No, they've been.
I don't disagree with you, but I do feel like there's a lot of groupthink, Vlad, and I think you're right. I feel like everybody, nobody is saying pump the brakes on Wembanyama this year.
No, they said this guy can win every award possible.
Yeah. Dude, well, I tell you, dude, let me tell you something right now. I remember last year, preseason, Heat, Grizzlies. You never seen Bam Adebayo play so damn hard in a preseason game. And he always plays hard. But that dude
Oh, that was
He gave Jaren Jackson the work. And then this game, whew, he goes, "Oh, what's up, tall man? Try and dribble past me."
It's a giant.
Wemby's fumbling all over the place. Bam's cooking him, putting threes. That man, can we just do the right thing and give this man the defensive player of the year? Because he sees those polls, and every poll, all of a sudden, finally, first team, all defense. This is going to be my year. I think this is the year of Wembanyama as defensive player of the year. And he's like, "You mother, are you kidding me? What do I have to do? Now there's a taller French guy
that's better skilled."
Man.
No, I really think there is a push to make him the new face of the NBA, because we're all trying to find the next face of the NBA. And
we have faces of the NBA. They're just
right, but
they're not very promotable.
Yeah. Well, no. You have a promotable one. He just plays in a small market.
Who?
Edwards.
And yeah, but I'm talking about Joker.
Yep.
And like soon as you know where they out.
But they're not as charismatic.
That's what I just said.
Right. They're not as charismatic. No, well, listen, they're not as charismatic, and they're older. Jokic is older.
And the thing about Ant is, y'all can say what y'all want about Ant. Ant gonna tell it like it is.
Sure.
They like that raw ability. Like Ant has the persona to be the next face, because you've seen him in movies, you've seen him in commercials, you see how the other big name players actually are attracted to him. That he has a magnet.
Right.
And they're trying to push that on Wembanyama.
But
and
he
they
might
all
not have the personality of that.
He has a Tim Duncan personality, but it's just that you've never seen somebody 7'4" this balanced and skilled.
Right.
They're going to force that narrative, because you know why? The last 4 or 5 MVPs have been what? Foreign players.
I will say though, dude, like you can't look away. It is one of these things. Like
I know.
Tyler,
listen, when I was staring at that man's nipples, I was like, goodness gracious.
Dude, like Tyler had this.
What are you talking about that man's nipples, man?
Because when I turned and looked, all I could see was the number, San Antonio, and that's right there. I'm like, wow. And look, I was like, goodness. Now,
Stun Steve says
he could have took a knee and hit behind me because he was so thin.
Yep.
But that's a whole nother conversation. If he would have, I think he would have been taller than me if he would have took a knee.
I saw yesterday he was doing his media sitting down. He still looked as tall as everybody.
Think about that. He could have took a knee and been taller than me. I'm not short.
I know.
Like, man, but the thing is that he's skilled. Seems like a really cool dude, but just because you're a cool dude and you're skilled, don't mean you have that personality to carry the brand.
I don't even think it's the personality. I just think it's young, right? Like you always just talk about like what's the right age, and I just think that.
But they're trying to heap all this expectations on him like immediately. Like, it's ridiculous. Like they literally say this guy can win every award.
I know. I thought it was crazy how high he was last year. I'm like, dude, like, all right, like trash team, like they weren't good at all last year.
No,
and everybody's
I think he need a couple of more LBs on his body.
We all think that.
Yep.
But maybe it's because he's 7'4", right? Like he always gonna look skinny.
Of course.
And here's the other thing: today's NBA, they're not as big as like when Shaq and those guys were playing. So he's
put some body on him.
Right. He's just going against people similar size as he is. I mean, it's not like when we see him go against
he's also like, honestly, I think they're gonna overthink it with him because he should just be in the paint dunking on everybody's head. And like he's trying to be KD a little bit.
No, he ain't got the ball handling skills of KD.
That's what he tried to do past Bam. And I'm like, dude, you're not.
He's got skills, man. He pulled the sham guard on on Gobert. That was nasty.
Yeah, but
he did get back Duncan yesterday on a block.
So is Cat already complaining about being in New York?
No.
Is he?
No. The big bodega, you leave him alone.
The big bodega. Hey, I tell you what, I know who is happy. Ant and Gobert.
Well,
Well,
I mean,
until you're Anthony Edwards stuck with Gobert.
Oh my goodness.
I don't know if Ant's gonna be happy when Julius Randle gets the ball and he doesn't get the ball back.
Oh, because Julius Randle is kind of a black hole when it comes to basketballs.
Kind of.
Dribble, dribble, dribble. Pull back three with the left. Yeah. Hey.
Man. Headlines, by the way, brought to you by Doral Hyundai. Choose one with 1,300 new Hyundai models at Doral Hyundai and inventory like the Tucson, the Sonata, and the Palisade. Remember, when it comes to Hyundai, the great deals are at Doral Hyundai. The Heat, they will tip off at 7:30 tonight against the Atlanta Hawks. They beat the Spurs yesterday 120-117.
You know what that means?
Pizza?
Pizza. No, not Pizza Hut, baby.
Oh, just
Papa
pizza?
John's.
Papa John's.
50%.
My bad, Papa John's.
NLCS.
Preseason?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
We already confirmed it.
Yep.
Yeah.
NLCS game 3 tonight from New York. Mets host the Dodgers. That is at a very exact 8:08 for the first pitch.
Is there they're tied up, right?
Yeah, it's tied up at 1. Baseball's really, really adamant about having their game start at 8 minutes past the hour.
Remember the year that all Marlins games started at 7-11?
Yeah. Was that Marlins or White Sox? I feel that was a White Sox thing.
Was it? I thought it was the Marlins.
Nah, the
Marlins.
Marlins. The Marlins' big thing is they moved all their games before 7. They made them like 6:40.
And their big thing is always having every Saturday afternoon home game is.
Did you guys see that the Rays might not have a home next year? Like, apparently the Trop's so messed up they may not be able to fix it.
And the new stadium's not going to be done until 26.
You think the Rays fans care? It's not like they go to the stadium anyway.
But what about the Yankees
They
fans?
could listen.
Oh,
they could still play the games there with an open roof.
No, apparently they can't because there's no drainage system.
Oh,
That's what they were saying yesterday. I saw that former GM Jim Bowden was talking about this. He's like, yeah, there's no drainage system. They can't do it. So I saw some people were suggesting they have to go play where the Yankees spring train, even though the capacity is only 11,000.
That's still 5 more thousand people that go to the Rays.
Well, I mean, not wrong.
What?
so they are going to be the jumbo shrimp.
How do you think they do? How do you think that they do feel the Marlins? Because you see the Savannah Bananas were here.
Yeah.
So they did like 25,000
more.
Sell
Sell out. 36. Sell out.
Really?
Everybody went to go see Harlem Globetrotters baseball.
That's what somebody asked me. Somebody asked me what it was, and that's what I said. Harlem Globetrotters baseball.
Harlem Globetrotters baseball, Caribbean Series, World Baseball Classic. You can't have enough seats. Marlins. Maybe the Rays come down here. 2 teams, 1 ballpark.
I bet you they still can't get 35,000 combined.
Bendix would be happy. His boys from the Tampa would be here.
They can't do that
Why not?
because you know you would have to coordinate a season. Holy smokes!
Doubleheaders.
You could play a doubleheader, have Tampa play at 1 p.m. and then have the Marlins play at 6. And I still don't think they'll be able to combine for a sellout.
Ooh, what if they do that?
Agreed.
What if they do that? They go, all right, here's what we're gonna do. 2 MLB games in one day, every day. 1 American League. You get the Yankees down here a little bit more. The Red Sox. You get to have season tickets to 2 teams.
You know what's crazy? When I was a kid, we didn't have a baseball team. And so once a year in the preseason or during spring training, we would get 4 teams come to the Superdome and play.
Oh.
So they would play for like 2 or 3 days. And you would get back-to-back games.
That's fun.
Yeah.
We'll take a break. Back more to this. All right, welcome back, everybody. Leroy, can you get a weather update from the Demesman and Dover law firm? YourAccentAttorneys.com. Free consultations 24/7. Call them up at 866-954-MORE.
I think we ordered a couple of good days. What a beautiful day. Got a light breeze, maybe 5-10 miles an hour. Out of the, looking for some cloud movement. I'm moving. Hold on. Let me check. Looks like it might be out of, I can't tell which way it's coming out of. Southwest. And it's a pleasant day, right around 80 degrees and mostly sunny.
Wow. How do you do, Vlad? Is he still spot on as a golfer?
I don't know if it's sunny because it's cloudy over here.
All I have is the windowplex here, buddy.
Well, sorry.
It's 83 degrees. The wind is blowing from. It's blowing from the south. But it's 84 degrees. It's clear. And it's partly cloudy. But
how can it be clear and partly cloudy?
That's what it says, bro.
You can have some clouds.
You could have some clouds.
Yeah, I see some clouds. Yeah.
You could have some clouds.
But we look, the fact that we've seen sun for the last couple of days is pretty good.
Leroy he's pretty much correct.
And the cooler air, you feel that cooler air from the low, the humidity not being so high. Nice days. Nice. It's getting to the time of the year where you love living in Florida.
Did you see what happened yesterday in Tyler Herro's post-game interview, Leroy?
Nope.
I'm sitting at the same time and just continuing to figure out what we can do to get ready for the season. I'm sorry, I'm distracted by a fight up there. This is crazy.
Well, hopefully that breaks up here soon. We'll let you go, Tyler. Thank you so much for the time.
So much. Thank you.
Wait, why did he start moving like he was fighting? Why did he start bobbing and weaving like he was?
Well, I think he was.
I love the haircut. I love the haircut. He looks like he's 12.
Yeah.
Right.
He looks like Will Wheaton and Stand By Me right now with that. He looks like.
But why did he start bobbing and weaving? I'm just
because it might have been a good fight going on, and when you watch a good fight, you start thinking you're involved in it. So he's like, I think you gotta tell, you gotta duck that,
Hey, you be dodging the punches of the other guy.
You never watch a fight. You think you're in it. You think all of a sudden you start mimicking the moves.
And you know what? It's funny because
and you always get
the people that in the fight. The people that's in the fight look like boxers. And the people that's actually fighting are swinging all crazy.
Rare are the times where we get a preview to a stadium fight before we get footage of the actual fight. Normally,
you have it?
These are, oh yeah, dude. Nah,
wow.
I can't believe the sound of it, obviously, but I will show for our YouTube audience. It was, green hair.
Oh, we got girls involved.
Yep. We got some girls involved. She's trying to pull back.
Oh, wow.
This is over, I think, by the Pat Riley seats.
This is about to are clothes coming off?
That's right there, right? That table right there. That's the Pat Riley. That's the Heat. The Heat contingency sits up there.
That's right next to the DJ, right? Isn't
yeah,
the DJ
yeah, right by the DJ. Wow, man.
Oh man,
they were getting after it, man.
Did they break it up? Oh,
finally,
there you go. There you go.
You know how bad of a fight is if girls have to be involved. This was a 2-on-2. This was an intergender match.
Man, how about that?
Wow.
Oh, you gotta take it down.
Oh man,
jeez. How about that? Oh, immediately.
Preseason game.
Dude, that's what I'm saying.
It was
somebody had green hair.
Yeah, the dude.
There's like multiple people with green hair, correct?
Maybe that's
look, there's another one.
That's a girl. That's a girl.
So she got green hair like her boo.
Yeah, I think they greened out.
Oh no, that's
they can't get
cash
together.
That's probably why they got in a fight.
They can't get cash together, so they'll spring paint their hair together green.
Can't get arrested like that. That's crazy. Anyway, I'm sure those mugshots are going to be fantastic.
It's not a real fight till somebody took their earrings off. Baby, hope.
Well, you couldn't tell. The video did not show.
Nah, it looked like they got into action immediately. There wasn't even no time to hold my earrings. There was
wasn't no hair pulling.
No, they got into it.
I don't know
Now,
why.
here's my
When women
question.
fight, first they do is snatch each other clothes off and pull hair.
We're
I
getting
love
to how many drinky poos do you have to have before you're getting into you're swinging on that?
I'm the opposite. Like if I have a couple of drinks, I'm like, nah, dude, I ain't getting involved.
But here's the question though.
I think it depends.
Spurs in a preseason game.
Yeah.
I know.
Why?
Because most fights you feel like happen over the game, right? Like when we see these fights, it's usually fan versus another fan. You said something, your team sucks. Hey, it's on.
New York come down.
Yeah, something like that.
Boston. Right. That's what I'm saying.
I mean, was like, this seemed like it must have been, I don't know. They caught Tyler's attention.
Tyler liked what was going on because he was that definitely.
He was very into it.
He start doing. I'm like, oh,
was-
everybody looked like a boxer until some fists are being thrown.
He was excited.
Sitting at the same time, and just continuing to figure out what we can do to get ready for the season. I'm sorry, I'm distracted by a fight up there. This is crazy.
Well, hopefully that breaks up here soon. We'll let you go, Tyler. Thank you so much.
Glee that came on his face.
I've never seen him smile so big.
You see how
Glee on his
you see
face.
how entertained he is? He is so entertained by this.
Dude, you
And
imagine
Kelly not having it.
Imagine how many interviews you do. You're like, I'll never forget the one where there was a fight in the preseason.
I didn't even know he had pearly whites like that until now. That's
Wow.
how he was smiling,
When I
smiling.
played, we didn't do interviews on the field.
Never did the walk-offs.
Nah, they do pregame ones now.
Yeah, oh, they do all those interviews
Right.
now.
In preseason, they do sidelines.
Man, that was funny.
I've
Take
got
a
to say
break.
that section gets a little aggressive.
The one by Pat Riley?
Yeah.
How dare you people?
And then here, I'm gonna just say this. In the preseason, you can get lower seats that you wouldn't normally get during the regular season.
That's a fact. But now here's a question though. If Pat Riley wants you off his court, you have to get off his court.
Oh yeah. But I think Pat Riley
Literally named Pat Riley's court. If
Pat
he
Riley
did-
was already gone.
I'm just
Pat
saying.
Riley wasn't sitting
He
around
saw
for
that
every
fight
minute
and
of
he was
that
like,
game.
"Hey,
I
I
did
want
not
these
see
guys
that.
gone." You immediately got to go.
Dade South says
Yeah,
they
but
use the skin-
Pat Riley was already gone.
Oh yeah, he was gone for sure.
Yeah.
Dade South says they used the skinny Bob Barker mic to interview Leroy.
Dude, what are you doing? Like, what
Hey man, don't forget to adopt a pet.
No.
No, he's spayed and neutered.
Spade or neuter. Spade and neuter. He wasn't adopt a pet. He was
Well-
spade or neuter your pets.
We'll take a break. Rats off a ship is next.
Rats off a ship.
Welcome back, everybody. Tobin and Leroy here with you, 560 WQAM. Hey, come out and watch the Canes with WQAM and Solana on Saturday at noon at the Quarterdeck on University Drive in Davie. Excuse me, University Drive in Davie. They take on Louisville. Enjoy ice cold beer specials and get yourself entered to win a golf foursome at Jacaranda Golf Club in Plantation, Louisville.
How we feeling about this week? Like,
I feel good.
Yeah,
Feel good.
I mean,
I feel good. Feel good, dude. This feels like you know what it just feels like a put it on them game.
The last 2 weeks, they have not brought their A game.
Nope.
And this is the best team they've played all year.
Yeah, I would agree with that.
Okay. So, I think they should win, but I have some concerns based on how they've been playing the last couple of weeks.
Yeah, I mean, but you also
I'm keeping it real. I'm just keeping it real. Like for you to just go full Canes blast or whatever.
I'm not going full Canes blast. I haven't been that guy this year. I have not been
that. Said it.
I think we're gonna put it on them. I don't know. It just feels. I didn't feel that way about Virginia Tech, and I really didn't feel that way against Cal. I was like, weird travel.
That travel. I'm gonna give them a little bit. Like, think about this. As a college athlete, very rarely, if not for a bowl game, do you travel that far to play a football team.
We're getting Jalen Rivers back on the line, so the line's going to be more fortified. One of our most experienced tackles is coming back, so they get to kick in. They're going to have more protection there. I don't know, dude. We got to get to Rats. I'm getting too excited. I'm getting too excited about what we're going to do to the Cardinals. Let's just say they're going to be JFigs out there. There's going to be birdering going on. Cardinals,
nice.
You're in trouble, dude. You're in trouble. JFig, what do we have today for Rats off a ship?
This is the JFig game. All right. First off, we have the Detroit Lions Podium.
What?
Apparently, it's a little too big.
Okay.
Wow. Oh, my God.
Wait, the marble.
And that's a big man.
Holy smokes.
Could you imagine Mike McDaniel at that podium?
It would swallow Mike McDaniel.
You have to do a step up.
Wow.
Look.
I think you would be able to only see his head if there was like Daniel.
I'm Rats off a ship. That podium is uncomfortably big.
It looks like he's holding it.
And this is the largest coach we have in the league. Like, that's ridiculous. I understand you got to make sponsors happy. I'm all for it. Blue Chew. But come on. That's the best they could do? He's literally standing at a billboard.
Right.
You might as well just put him on the highway.
Right. Yeah, I'm Rats off a ship on that thing. Like,
Rats off a ship.
I mean, that seemed like it was a whole production to build that thing.
That took some craftsmanship.
Right, that's what I'm saying.
You sure they didn't get the guys that created the Nina, the Pinta, and the Santa Maria?
I don't know.
Holy smokes! That
he looks like it's like a Halloween costume. He's trying to carry it.
But look, he almost has to duck down. It's so tall, like he's almost hitting the ceiling. Like, jeez.
That kind of reminds me of a mailbox thing.
I'm
like a
all
drop
the
off.
way. Yeah,
a drop box. Yep.
I'm all the way Rats off a ship on that podium. Way too big. Rats off a ship.
Too
You
much.
sure they didn't get that from Bill Clinton? When he was at when he was in the Oval Office?
What is Majors? Is that their Publix?
Myers.
Yeah,
that's
that's their Publix?
Yeah.
It's a Northern Publix, apparently.
Yeah. You got Myers. They used to have what's the other one that was up north?
You're not gonna see his Oscar Mayer.
Kroger's.
Yeah, Kroger's. And
I love the one in Texas. H-E-B.
And then I think Albertsons was more north also.
Yeah, Albertsons is a north thing.
Yeah.
Reminds me of when me and Mrs. Tobin were riding up to Georgia and we just kept passing this grocery store. She goes, "Isn't that odd? It's a place called Ingles." I'm like, I'm pretty sure it's Ingles.
Did you give her a -1?
-1 for sass.
Hey, you gotta tell it. You know, the Latino thing leaves when we get leave Florida. Everybody doesn't pronounce stuff like that.
Oh man. What's number 2, JFig?
Well, we have Tyler Herro being a defensive stopper this year. He has 3 steals in 2 preseason games.
He has been picking the pocket of his opponents. This was Tyler after the game yesterday.
Being disruptive, trying to get in the passing lanes, use my speed to get deflections and get steals. I don't got the longest arms, but I'm fast and quick. I can use my speed to be disruptive in my own way. And then obviously around Jimmy, Bam, 2 of our anchors on defense. Obviously they're able to protect in a different way. So just trying to fly around and make plays knowing they got my back.
Wow.
Terrible.
Wow.
I'm rats off a ship.
I'm rats off the ship. 2 reasons.
You ain't on this team for that. You're on this team to make threes and be healthy.
And why are you wearing a Pittsburgh Steelers shirt?
That's what kids do for the fit, you know?
Yeah.
Look at this. It's old logos. I'm going to wear it.
Where is he from?
He's from Milwaukee.
Oh, my goodness. That's right. That's
That's weird.
Yeah.
It is
Rats
strange.
off the ship.
I'm not rats off a ship. Now, I don't know if I'd go defensive stopper.
You're a sucker. You buy
I'm not a sucker. I'm not a sucker. But he's been getting his paws on some loose basketballs. And let me tell you something. I think he can be pesky. He can just get into those passing lanes, steal that basketball quick like a cat, right down the court.
Over under 50 steals this year.
I have to. Let me go see what is. Let me see.
Well,
I'm giving you the Leroy.
It would also require him to play
the Leroy line because you so enthusiastic about it.
It would require Leroy for him to play over 50 games.
Well, that's true.
I'm saying he's gonna play 70 to 80 games.
Let's see. What is his career high in steals?
12.
No, he had 50 steals 2 years ago.
How many games he played 2 years ago?
67.
Okay.
Then he got hurt in the playoffs.
Okay. Wait. Let me see.
75.
Are you retracting your round?
That might be a low number.
75 is I think is
because I'm here. I am predicting he's going to be healthy all year.
Yeah.
So we're basing it off of this. If he already has had 50 and he wasn't considered a defensive stalwart,
Jimmy Butler
trying.
I'll give you Jimmy Butler is looked upon always as one of the league leaders in steals.
Right.
And this is with 64 games 2 years ago. He had 117 steals.
Damn.
Last year in 60 games, he had 80 steals. This is he is among the best guys to do it. He's crossed the 100 steal mark 3 of the last 5 years. He almost did it 2 years ago, but he only played 57 games, so he had 94. Okay. So what you thinking? What do we think? Are we thinking 70 steals for old Tyler?
No.
Too much?
No. I would say the over-under is probably 55, 60. He's not going to average 1 a game.
Gotcha. I'm going over.
Okay.
But I'm not rats off a ship. Stopper may be strong, but I'm going to go pesky.
Then okay, stopper. You're right. There we go. Rats off a ship.
Nah,
I'm not going into a basketball game thinking that Tyler Herro has to be a stopper. So already, no, rats off a ship on that.
Everyone's on a string together.
I like to put you on a string. Nonsense.
Wow.
Come on.
JFig.
Point for Leroy.
I'm going to say not rats off the ship just because of what Leroy just said. That was great.
Interesting.
You already know I'm rats off the ship. Just for the shirt. Not because of the defense.
Really?
You can't be rocking no Pittsburgh.
Hey, I'm probably more inclined to say rats off the ship because of the shirt than Vlad.
He hates the Steelers.
Yeah.
But these kids these days, they don't have any allegiance.
But I'm a big fan of Mike Tomlin. Woo, goodness. All he do is win.
What's number 3, Jennifer?
UFC rankings.
Well, what weight class are we questioning?
Yeah, can we care to explain, JFig?
We have a video here. Dana White being very furious with the media.
Look at who Pereira has beat, right? And how he's beat him leading up to this fight. He was winning on the scorecards when he got stopped. He was ahead on the scorecards. Stayed in the pocket, put on one of the greatest fights anybody's ever seen, and he stays at number 8.
He's talking about Khalil Roundtree.
Just I can't handle incompetence. I can't take it anymore. It's driving me crazy. And I can't let people that I don't believe know what the they're talking about deal with the rankings anymore. I just can't do it. I have to figure out a solution. Tomorrow I have a meeting with a group of people that are coming to me saying they have the solution to this problem. And God, I hope they're right, because I'm going to change it. The media will no longer control the rankings in the UFC.
All right. Furious. I got to tell you.
Does he have a point? Let's start off with the Pereira thing.
Okay, I'll start off. He was talking about Khalil Roundtree. He's upset Khalil Roundtree is still number 8 after losing and getting knocked out to Alex Bejeda, who had it was a good performance by Khalil. It was admirable.
So should he be down, like lower in the rankings?
Well, he didn't go down the rankings. He went into that fight ranked 8th.
So if he had a good performance, but he still got his ass beat, don't you think still
he
being
got
good?
He got his face turned into a horror movie.
Now, my question is, do we think it is? Because here's Vlad, we're spoiled by the BCS and the college rankings that if you lose, you drop. And you start there because other guys move up. Is the UFC rankings very similar, or do they just take the work of art, the work, the body of work, win or lose, and
the outcome? Right.
I mostly, I'll tell you this. I was once a official voter of the BKFC rankings, a bare knuckle voter. And I stopped doing it because I'm like, I'm not watching BKFC every week. And also you guys this doesn't matter because you guys never have Luis Palomino fight the number 1 star that you bring in anyway. I always have him number 1 pound for pound. But I did find like, hey, I'm not watching this. I don't know who everybody's best is. I want to watch BKFC. It's like my 4th favorite. It's like my 4th favorite combat sport to watch. I'm not voting on this. I think the MMA media, for the most part, does a pretty good job on this stuff. I don't understand because you guys decided to have a very low-ranked guy fight for the title. And he put an admirable fight in because he's a good striker. He's a good stylistic matchup. He still lost and got bludgeoned. He put up a nice effort for a few rounds. It's a 5-round fight.
So did they?
Why does that deserve to go up in the rankings? That doesn't make any sense to me.
He didn't go up. He just stayed where he was.
Right. But Dana's mad because he stayed at 8. He's not
he shouldn't go any higher.
No, he's saying he should have dropped.
No, he's saying he should have gone up.
That's what
he should have went up. So here's my question. Was he right saying he was leading the card until he got stopped?
He officially was on the judge's scorecard. He was up 2-1.
So here's my issue with that. Is that you got stopped even though you were leading the card at the time you got stopped, but you're fighting the number 1. You're fighting the champ. So if like that, does that not matter? Like if you fighting the champ and you actually hold your own and are actually leading, doesn't that make you more than an 8? Or do you just count the loss? That's why I asked. We're looking at this.
Loss, Leroy. You got
okay. I got it, but I'm asking because if we're looking at this from our perspective, we only think of college football.
Well, let me give you the back on this though. The only reason he got the fight is because Bejeda is a very active champion. A lot of champions will only fight once, twice a year. Bejeda fights 4 times a year. He's very active and he's smoking everybody.
And you can't find anybody for him.
He's already taken out 1, 2, 3's got a fight coming up this next weekend, And so they just were like, hey, we want to do a main event with Pereira. Who are we going to pick? Roundtree. Like
So
Roundtree was properly ranked beforehand. If you lose the fight, like if it was like at the end, if it went to a decision, I can hear the argument. But just because you held a lead and then got your face knocked into mincemeat, I think you don't lose a spot. You don't go up.
What also screws him is the fact that of the 6 guys above him, not including Pereira, has he fought any of those guys?
The highest ranked guy I think he fought that he beat was Anthony Smith, and I think Anthony Smith might be behind him now.
Right. So my point is that if you haven't fought any of those guys, I get you staying where you are, but you're not going to move up fighting and losing to the champ. You're going to move up fighting the other contenders.
Dana's trying to promote. He's trying to promote a new fighter. That's the only reason why. Because going by what you guys just said right now, if he's the 8th ranked fighter in that weight class going in, and he did well, he did a little bit much better than you presume.
But like if you have a valiant effort against Georgia, but you lose,
right? It's not because by going by the college football theory, when Alabama played Georgia, Alabama was crushing Georgia. Georgia came back. Did Georgia show that they one of the top 5 teams in the league? Yes, they did. Yes, they did.
But you got to win.
I'm always a big fan of Vlad.
No, but they went down, but that's because they were highly ranked. This guy wasn't highly ranked at all. So win or lose, if he got destroyed and wasn't leading, he probably would have been 12th or 13th in the rankings right now. The fact that he held himself accountable, okay, he didn't go. I think it's at 8. That's properly where he should be ranked.
I think it's too weird of a situation to definitively be mad at the media about. Like you got a victim of a champion who was cleaning out a division, and it doesn't mean that the other guys should then lose their ranking. So like those guys didn't fight as well against Pereira, but the rest of their resume gets thrown out. Like I don't know.
You made the fight. You can't complain about the result.
That's what I'm saying. He's trying to promote another fight. That's why
he's trying. Here's the other thing. I'm also a big believer. If one plays 2 and 2 wins, 1 should just drop to 2.
Well, it depends on how bad 1 loses.
It doesn't. But again, you're talking about the 2 top teams. If 2 plays 3,
but Vandy didn't become 4,
huh?
But Vandy didn't become 4,
right? No, but that's a different situation. I'm just talking about that when the higher ranked teams play one another. You see, I tell you who they did it with.
Mm-hmm.
They did it with Bama and Georgia last year.
He's also been on this kick about like he's really upset that John Jones is not number 1 pound for pound anymore right now. Makachev and Pereira are ahead of him because John hasn't fought in a hot minute because he's been injured. But he's still 3rd, and I don't know. For not fighting, I might add. Yeah, I think that he's getting his undies in a twist a little bit too much over this. To be honest with you,
I'm rats off a ship on it. Like,
I'm rats off a ship too.
You make a fight with an 8th ranked player. What do you think was going to happen? Anything could happen.
Fun fight.
Rats off a ship.
Enjoy. You don't have to get crazy about it. I will say next week. Oh,
you like it?
Max Holloway Taporia.
Blood. There's gonna be a lot of bloodshed.
Isn't that the 130 class?
145.
145. All right.
That's your limit. You're like, all right, I'm in.
Well, no, because remember Connor started there, and
that was Connor's division. Yep.
Right. So yeah, but these they're tiny.
Dude, that fight's gonna be awesome.
Let them hit you, Leroy. See how tiny.
No. Like them being tiny and them being able to kick my ass is 2 different things.
Dude, Taporia coming off knocking out Alexander Volkanovski and Max Holloway coming off the coolest knockout you've ever seen in your life with 10 seconds left. And Taporia is doing this thing, goes, do it to me in the first 10 seconds. I'm like, oh, that's good.
But Holloway
isn't Max Holloway Hawaiian?
Yeah.
Okay. Holloway was winning that fight regardless, right?
Yeah. That's what made it so badass.
He didn't have to do that. He did not have to go and interact with that fighter in the last 45 seconds because he completely dominated that fight. But the warrior that he is, he's like, let's go, let's throw hands. And he caught him. Oh, God.
Isn't that when he waved him in?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Come on, let's finish this in style.
Oh, it was. I still get the gooses
Yeah, I'm
thinking
mad,
about
man.
it.
Can I just say this though? After dude gets up from the floor after getting beat down and
Don't hug
knocked
me.
out from getting,
Don't hug me.
don't hug me and tell me how good I am. I
Nah,
just
don't do
got
that.
knocked the bleep out. I don't want to hear that. I also don't want to stand next to you concussed and have the other guy raise your hand. I'm good. We know who won. Let me get the hell out of here.
Ego.
The beauty of the martial arts.
Yep.
Take a break. Back after this. All right, welcome back, everybody. Tobin and Leroy back with you here, 560 WQAM. Take you guys up until 2. Let's get to our headlines here in this final hour, brought to you by Doral Hyundai. Choose from over 1,300 new Hyundai models in inventory, like the Tucson, the Sonata, and the Palisade. Remember, when it comes to Hyundai, the great deals are at Doral Hyundai. Mike McDaniel is speaking to reporters right now. A lot of words. He says Emmanuel Agba has an injury in his day-to-day, but is doing well. Devon Achan.
He got hurt during the bye week? Or this was before the bye week?
I don't know.
Is that a fair question? Not
It
to
is
ask?
it's a total fair question. You know what? It's a total fair question, Vlad. See if I can get some more tweets on it. It just says day to day, dude. It just says day to day. I don't have any on how it happened.
Do you have to put something if the guy doesn't practice?
You do today. You will today when the first injury report comes out. You will,
Right.
yes.
So maybe it has something to do with that. That he was in practice.
Achan is progressing through concussion protocol. He says all things are positive. Feel good about where he's at.
I'm trying to think. The concussions I had, why do not I feel like this? Like, ooh, it's gonna be a couple of weeks.
Because you played in the Stone Ages, dude.
Yeah, they use smelling salt. That was your hey, that's your medicine.
You probably.
I remember one time they gave me smelling salts. I'm like, really? That's what we going with?
Weren't we supposed to do smelling salts? Oh yeah. Did Glenn not let us?
Yes.
Yeah.
Hey, Glenn! Let's do smelling salts, man. No one's there anyway. Anyway, Mike McDaniel from Barry Jackson will not has nothing more to share on whether Tua will practice next week. Quote, when the next step occurs, the next step occurs. That sounds like a guy who's practicing.
Well, as soon as they put him on the field, then you're gonna get more questions. So that's why he's not saying nothing.
And let's see. He said on Mike McDaniel on the Bills and Jets making moves. It'll be cool to see how they involve themselves with the team and where those teams go, what type of challenge it'll present. I know the players well. They're very good players, but I'm not a guy that's like, oh, man, somebody got somebody. Definitely more worried. Like, if I had to say, like, one that was, like, more annoying, it was definitely the Bills getting Amari Cooper.
Yeah, because people don't realize how good he is. You know what I mean? Because he doesn't possess that, crazy speed or anything like that. But he is one of the best.
And you know what pisses me off about this?
What?
It's not like Josh Allen's been really playing that great. I mean, after that Jacksonville game, he hasn't really been playing that well.
Yeah,
that Miami game, he didn't play that well. That was the running game and the turnovers that won that game against the Dolphins.
I know. He had a 9 for 30 performance.
He got a 9 for 30 performance against Houston. Yeah.
Could that be because he lost Diggs?
Nobody
will admit that.
And the other thing is there's been a lot of passes that he's thrown that should have been intercepted that have not been intercepted.
Look,
and he's lost fumbles as well.
It's like having a rodeo bull as your quarterback. You don't know what it's going to do, but it's dangerous.
But it's going to do something.
It can cause damage. It may take out all of your landscaping and it may take out your house and some walls, but you can't trust it. But it could get the job done, I suppose. It's strong. But I'm with you. He's a wild card. Can't say nothing. I mean, the guy wipes the floor with the Dolphins, plays good, doesn't play good, no matter what. I mean, he basically uses them as a sham wow. Wipes the floor with the Dolphins. It's ridiculous.
I like that reference. Good reference.
Jesus. Like it's getting it. It's so embarrassing. That's we were determining when you were talking to Cleveland, we were going over the Dolphins record. Not that that's a win, that's a loss, but we were determining if they get the win this week and they can get a win next week against Arizona and get to 4-3, then you have you almost have like a clean slate to go into Buffalo and right the wrongs,
Look, get a win, be at 3-3. You're going to be right in the middle of the pack. And then go from there. Right? Like, worry about the next 5 games. Have you seen the last 2 games? We've been hanging on the edge of our seat, trying to figure out how we're going to score more than 20 points.
I've watched the last 2 games, and they have not been entertaining. Can I just get one cheetah bomb, Snoop?
Who cares about entertaining? Just win the
Oh, I do. I like entertaining football. What are you talking?
So, Tobin, are you going to be more? So, now let me ask you this, Tobin.
Yep.
If they lose 34-31 to the Colts, but they got the ball to Cheetah and Waddle, and the offense looked great, are you going to be happy with that? Or are you going to be, or would you rather a 17-13 win?
I wouldn't be unhappy with that. I would like to watch it. You're saying it's a competitive game, but I get some bombskis?
Oh, my God.
I'd have to think about that one. I miss it.
But you want wins, don't you?
Yes, I want wins, Vlad. I don't care if it's 10-9.
Don't care.
You do want wins, but I mean, I would like some fun. I mean, it would be nice.
Wait. If I give you a choice, win or fun, what would you choose?
Don't act like it's a difficult answer, okay?
He's gonna say he wants fun.
He wants fun, baby.
He would rather watch the 1980s Miami Dolphins offense with Marino, Clayton, and than watch the 2000 Ravens.
We can focus on wins right now, and then hopefully those wins become entertaining later on.
You know, look, all I'm telling Mike McDaniel right now, dude, you're lucky that the Miami Hurricanes have been a roller coaster of entertainment, because otherwise I don't know if I could take it. But thankfully I have my Saturdays that have distracted me.
Turn to them for entertainment.
I do. I tune to them and turn to them for entertainment, JFig. I need them. They have been a breath of fresh air, because I didn't realize we were going back to the days of Zonk.
They've kept us at the edge of our seats.
I mean, Zach Sealer's sitting here. He's getting you interception after interception. He goes, please get in the end zone. They're like, maybe.
Again, there's stretches in everybody's season where you're going to have to win ugly games. This happens to be a part of that season where you don't have your quarterback. So
you want to see. This is what's wrong.
Why it's hard. It's hard. This is why we have so many problems.
I understand, Leroy.
Why is this such a bad thing?
You want the 70-20 Dolphins over Broncos, so you could talk about this in like week.
You guys think you're so much more noble than me because you'll watch. Don't act like you're enjoying it. You're not enjoying it, okay? It's not been good football. You guys can sit here and you'd be like, but you just get the win. They got the win by a toe and punching out a football. It's not like it's been effective winning. Okay, they got the win, but like, come on, dude. They're squeaking by their cheeks to get by the worst teams in the league.
So what?
Come on, I miss fun football.
When is the most important thing not winning? Explain that.
Well, like not all wins are equal.
They all count as one.
Okay, dude.
They all count as one win.
Okay. You play like this, you'll get a lot more.
No, but for now, just get the win.
Okay, for now. Doesn't mean I can't miss the yesteryears.
Oh, my goodness. You're insufferable. What are you talking about, dude? Have you seen this team? They ain't going to score 40 points. Get over it. Just
they
get
haven't
wins.
scored over 20 since the Cowboys game last season. Christmas Eve.
I think it was the Jets game. I think it's the last time.
That they scored over 20?
It's the last time they no, but that first of all,
they scored 20 against Jacksonville. No, they scored 20.
Yeah, the last time that I think they scored 3 touchdowns was against the Jets.
No, yeah, but I'm just saying over 20 points. I think
that was a field goal bonanza.
Oh well.
You can.
And it got spoiled for me, but it got spoiled for me by my brother-in-law. Ruined that game for me. Why is my father-in-law got a pirate CBS? Doesn't even make sense. Just put the rabbit ears up. Why are we trying to steal this? That's why I don't like watching games on holidays at other people's houses. I need a home base. You guys can judge me. Don't act like you're not all thinking the same thing. You miss it.
Miss what?
You miss it.
You want wins.
That's we missed the fun, yeah, but like we need to win.
Nobody's saying they don't need to win.
You just told me a lot.
We need those wins.
Tobin will go crazy for a 35-31 loss in the wild card game.
Okay.
I go for a 10-9 win.
Great. Good for you. You're so noble.
No, let me ask you that.
You're like a you're like a foot
10-9 win in the playoffs or 35-31 loss?
I mean, okay, you're putting the playoffs on it. But if I said you got to make the playoffs either way, okay? Let me put that caveat. The Dolphins are making the playoffs. 5 seed, okay? We can have this weekend a 33-30 loss or a 10-9 win. But I'm guaranteeing you guys the results will be the same at the end of the year. The Dolphins will be the 5
But
seed.
you don't know that. And you know
I just guaranteed it. I just guaranteed it.
You will be
guaranteed it.
You will be so pissed off if they lose a game 35-30 to the Indianapolis Colts.
No, I won't.
And they don't make the playoffs because of this win.
I just guaranteed the playoffs. You didn't listen to me. You didn't play the game.
Because it doesn't guarantee the playoffs.
You think you're so noble. You think you're some football vegan. Good
You're
for you,
also
dude.
the same guy that will come in the next day and be like, I don't need you guys to be cute. I don't need you guys to be
that's
having
not true.
fun.
That's not
I don't
true.
need you to be
Yes,
smiling
you would.
or
The next
dancing
day
or
it's
anything
not
like
true.
that. And then you're
Anthony
just going to go,
Weaver.
I want
Where
the
was
win.
the bob and weave defense?
He's
Where
been
was
bobbing and
that?
weaving. He's been bobbing and weaving. Old long-winded McDaniel's been sitting here. He's been spending more time saying words than he has been putting up points.
Exactly.
That's all I want. I want 30 points. I miss it. I miss it.
But do you want wins?
I think you just
I
lost
want
yourself.
Do you
wins.
want wins?
I want wins, but you're not going to go anywhere winning like this.
Hey, what? Yes,
what?
you are. You know where you're going to go? 3-3.
What's better is if you have the
What's
chance.
better? Being 3-3 after this week? Yes. There's nothing better.
What's
There's
better?
nothing better for this team.
You get to go 80 miles.
3-3 and say we survived the weeks without Tua.
You gotta go 80 miles an hour. You go 80 miles an hour in a sports car down the highway. We had a lot of fun, but you gotta walk the last exit, or you go like a turtle the entire way.
Well, the whole point. Hold on.
That means I'm covered.
I got Vlad. I got this.
And I got AC.
The whole point of an automobile, no matter how expensive or how fast it is to get where you're going.
Mm-hmm.
So no matter how you drive that thing, if you don't get to where you're going, it's a piece of crap.
And why would I want to get out the car and step out in this heat and get all sweaty and nasty? I could stay in my car.
If you're riding a nice car, you got your nice stuff on.
Right, but he just said the last mile you're gonna have to walk out.
Right.
You got your uncomfortable shoes
And
on.
it's a piece the first 2 miles wasn't enjoyable
There you go.
because I got to walk the last mile in my nice car.
You guys are all lying. That's it.
No, we're not.
You guys
You're
are all
lying to yourself.
You guys are all liars.
Wait a minute.
No,
Wait a
it's-
minute.
You're not
All
honest
because-
people.
Let me tell you what's going to happen.
You're dishonest.
We're very
man.
honest
Hold on.
people.
I got it. Here's what's going to happen. You bum, you fraud, you show pony. If the Dolphins don't win, he's going to be the first person to say, we couldn't even beat the lowly Indianapolis Colts with a new quarterback.
Well, they might not beat the Colts. Hold on.
Playing.
Yeah, but they might not beat the Colts anyway. Might as well have some fun.
Really?
They might lose 10-9. You ever think about that?
So wouldn't you rather it be 3-3? The most important thing, get the win.
Yeah, but I'm telling you, they might still lose 10-9. They could just as easily lose this badly. So if you could lose,
So
you might
that's
as well
why
lose
you're hoping
having
for a
fun.
win. That's why you're hoping for a win.
Congratulations.
That's it. The most important thing, get a win.
Leroy Horde, the no carb football diet.
No, I'm just saying.
Gluten-free
wait a minute.
football.
Name a sport that you have talked about or played. We just had a 15-minute conversation about a fighter who was noble for half of the fight but got bludgeoned. Nobody cares that he was in it.
Dana White did.
All we care about is he got bludgeoned. All you care about is the win. Stop saying you care about how it looks. At the end of this weekend, if the Dolphins are 3-3, everybody's going to take a deep breath and say, welcome back to it. But if they don't, you know what everybody's going to say? Tua coming back ain't going to do nothing.
I've never seen a fan base
Right.
who was asking for 2-2 after the 4 games. That's what we thought Tua was going to be out. So if you said, hey, if you're 2-2, that's a great record. Great record.
Without your starting quarterback.
Without your starting quarterback and your line being banged up.
You know what you sound like, Vlad? You sound like the kooky Jet fans last year. Like, we won 7 games with Zach Wilson at our quarterback. Look what's going to happen with Aaron Rodgers. Here you are, 2-4.
Okay, we're 2-4.
Here you are, 2-4.
Guess what? And you know what? If we beat the Pittsburgh Steelers 10-9.
I don't want to hear from Trevor. By the way, I don't want to hear from Trevor either. He had his own head coach going after the fans who weren't pleased with the win over the Cleveland Browns. You want to know why? Because it was boring and embarrassing.
But they won. Guess what would have happened if they lost?
And guess what, dude? The fans weren't happy about it.
His would have been on the foreman with Salah.
Oh, please. You guys are a bunch of liars. You like entertaining football.
Win, Tobin. It doesn't matter.
It does matter.
Also,
It does
last
matter.
week,
Let me ask you
did
this.
say
Tobin.
a win is a win.
Tobin. Why did the Dolphins lose the division
AFC East last year?
Yeah. What
Can't
game?
score.
What game?
Titans.
Okay. So if they had just gotten a win, they would have won the division.
And they scored 28 points. And they scored 28 points that game.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
So
they scored touchdowns that game, right?
What does that have to do with anything now?
it has to do with you just get wins.
Okay. But that was
You get as many wins as you can. I don't care how bad it looks. Because at the end of the season, it all adds up. And if you're in a better position because of those ugly wins, you won't care how you won.
But you're lying to yourself.
No, what are you?
You're putting.
I wouldn't have not mind. Here, I was 15-1 and scored more points than anybody in the history of the NFL at the time. And I would have rather won a Super Bowl like the Baltimore Ravens, not scoring an offensive touchdown in 5 weeks.
Okay, but you want to know something, dude? Here's the facts about it. Most people look back at that Ravens team and they say, yeah, what an all-time defense. But I'm going to tell you what, more kids looked up to your team and had fun watching your team. Okay?
We didn't win!
Oh, dude. Let me tell you something. More people are walking around here with Randy Moss Vikings jerseys than they are Dilfers. That's the facts, Jack.
You know what?
One guy is a legend and one guy is a bum who's sinking his own college football team.
But guess what? You know what, though? Every 5, every 10, every 15 or 20 years, you know what Trent Dilfer gets to do that Randy Moss and those guys can't?
A championship party.
Celebration. A championship remembrance, okay? A championship remembrance.
Hey, he's coaching University of Alabama Birmingham.
And he's got a
right now.
big Super Bowl ring that he's good that he can show the
No,
kids.
dude. Look, Todd Hollandsworth had a World Series ring. Who gives a rat's ass? We're way over. I gotta take a break. Back after this. All right, welcome back, everybody. Tobin and Leroy here with you, 560 WQAM. Take you guys up until 2 here on the program. Let you guys know, again, WQAM is supporting Neighbors for Neighbors and their Hurricane Milton relief effort. If you'd like to donate goods, including tarps, generators, yard waste bags, and canned goods, please drop them off at the Global Empowerment Mission Headquarters in Doral. For more info on how you can help, please go to WQM.com. And thank you for your support. I'm not thanking you for your support, Leroy. Throwing me rats off the ship.
But you sound like a clown.
I don't sound like a clown.
You're the only fan that don't want your team to win. But you want it to look good. Don't just win, look good.
I want wins.
The NFL ain't the BCS.
I want
at the end of the year. At the end of the year, when they add up your record, they ain't gonna say how you lost. Guess what?
Nobody's saying that. Though.
Last year, all they talked about is how many games the Texans won.
Mm-hmm.
They didn't say at the end of the year they had the easiest schedule in the NFL.
So what? They're still good this year?
But I'm just saying.
And you want to know what else we talked about?
Nobody cares. They just look at your record at the end of the year. So however you can get these wins, you get them.
Okay, but you would agree that the Texans were also one of the most entertaining watches in the league last year and this year.
Sure.
But that's because they were a surprise. So nobody expected it.
It was also because it was CJ Stroud throwing bomb skis all over the place.
Oh, which was unexpected.
Let me ask you something, Vlad.
Go ahead.
2-4 right now. Didn't you expect Aaron Rodgers, who hasn't had a 300-yard passing game since Tua's been in the league?
Well, he had it this past Monday.
No, he didn't. He was shy. 294 is not 300.
It's 300.
Nope. It's not. It's not.
Okay.
Almost. This isn't horseshoes.
Go ahead.
Yeah. Didn't you expect it to be a little bit more entertaining?
It's been entertaining. It just hasn't resulted in wins. I don't care about the entertainment. I care about the wins and
You
losses.
think it's been entertaining?
I don't think it hasn't been entertaining. They scored touchdowns, which is something they weren't doing last season. But they're also giving up touchdowns. So you see, I care about wins.
Do you?
Yes. Like Tobin, I don't get this with you. I don't care if the team wins 11 games by 1 point, 10-9, 13-12. I don't care. They're winning. That's why they don't play the game.
Look, they're not
to entertain. They play the game to win.
They're not winning. They won their last game. They're 2-3. Let's not act like that. If the Dolphins were 5-0 and they were doing like this, we'd have a different conversation.
They had lost 3 in a row. That's sometimes you need to stop the bleeding. So it doesn't matter how you stop the bleeding as long as the bleeding stops. You lost 3 in a row, and you didn't know what how your season was going to look from now till the end. Now that you won a game, you got a bye week, and you see how the rest of the division and the rest of the conference is looking. You can, like you said, you win this Sunday. It's a reset. You think? Let me ask you this: you think Kansas City Chiefs fans gave a rat's ass about last season not scoring?
Congratulations. Huh? You put the argument under to all people. Yes, if we were the Chiefs, then yes. But if ifs and nuts were candy and butts, like, dude, nobody's the Chiefs.
Excuse me. The last year that Tyreek Hill was there, they were scoring all the points in the world, but they lost the Super Bowl, so they didn't win. But these last 2 years, they
also won with Tyreek Hill.
Right, but they also lost with Tyreek Hill.
But they also won with them. Like, if you had a Super Bowl in your back pocket, you could have a lot of different arguments.
Tobin,
a Super Bowl.
Tobin, you're being way, way, way too silly.
I'm not being silly.
You are, dude.
You guys are being stingy, is what you're.
No, we're not. We want wins.
Okay.
You don't want wins?
Of course, I want wins. Everybody wants wins.
But you want wins to look.
Do you watch sports for entertaining or to be bored?
I watch sports for my team to win.
Okay, sure you do.
But really?
You don't watch to be
between the two teams. I'm 3 in a million.
You are the first person to always say appreciate greatness, Tobin.
Yes, when you see greatness.
Greatness.
Well, everybody doesn't win in using greatness. Everybody doesn't win. Everybody doesn't have Patrick Mahomes.
No,
okay.
You had LeBron James. You didn't win every time. That's greatness personified.
Yeah, but it was enjoyable.
They got to the finals every year. If he didn't screw the pooch, they would have won more titles.
Oh, now there you go. That's him. That's Tobin. That's Tobin. enjoy greatness, but he screwed the pooch.
He did screw the pooch.
Oh, so he's as long as he plays
It's
basketball,
an
he's
admitted pooch screwing. He screwed the pooch. You didn't post up JJ Barea. What do you call that? I call that pooch screwing.
So you're gonna go. So wait a minute.
We're
always gonna go to 2011. What about 2014? Did he
You guys specifically brought up his Heat run, not his career. You brought up his Heat run. The facts are the facts. He went through the hardest Eastern. Hold on. He went through the hardest Eastern Conference he did that year with an MVP, Derrick Rose. Diced through that Bulls team. A Celtics team that still had Ray Allen and those two dopes in their prime. Sliced through them in 5. And somehow a Garden Gnome figured him out. You don't say that's a screw in the pooch. I don't know what is screwing the pooch. Gotta take one more break. I don't
want to take a break. I don't want to take a break. We want to come back to this nonsense.
You guys are attacking me. I feel attacked
because you're talking crazy right now.
I'm not talking crazy.
You are.
Yes, you are.
You are.
You
know what?
That same energy.
I blame Twitch.
Tobin.
I blame Twitch because they always want, hey, make me a bicycle clown. And there you are. He's making you a bicycle now. You happy?
Come on, Tobin. Stop.
What? Okay, guys, let's go do what it takes to win 6-3 this week. That'll show the league.
Be 3-3, you won't care. If you're 3-3, you won't care.
Great.
What an exciting loss last night. We lost 38-35.
I wouldn't mind it.
Oh my
Yes, you would.
Little gunsling.
Admit that you would.
Little gunslinging on a Sunday.
Oh my goodness.
It's been a while.
I
don't remember what it feels like.
Dude, let's go to break before
We get 2 waddles. We
He's
get a
about to
cheetah
cut.
celebration.
Cut a break. Cut the
And
break.
a loss. So what you're telling me, Tobin, you want 2 waddle celebrations, 2 cheetah celebrations, and a loss.
If that's what it costs, but it's close.
You're a liar.
You're a liar. Oh my goodness.
Stop bringing up Jalen.
Somebody said it's time to rage quit.
Back after this. All right, welcome back, everybody. Tobin and Leroy back with you here, 560 WQAM. Take you guys up until 2 here on the program. Hey, come out and watch the Canes with WQM and Solana this Saturday at noon at the Quarterdeck on University Drive in Davie as they take on Louisville. Enjoy ice-cold beer specials and get yourself entered to win a golf foursome at Jacaranda Golf Club in Plantation. Mind you, that is a high noon kickoff, so get there for a little lunchy lunch as the Canes get going and continue ACC play. Very much cannot wait for that matchup. Oh, hey, buddy.
Aw, that's Zeus.
No, and there's Dre.
Hey, Dre.
Dre just went through the door. He went.
Well, you gave pets to Zeus. He got jealous. I mean, dogs want, they're going to compete for attention.
Well, hopefully it's that time. Nobody does anything they got no business doing. And Dre likes to eat coins. He plays with them in his mouth.
What?
He flips them around in his mouth. He doesn't eat them. He just
coins.
Hey.
By the way, our 15 minutes of game day uncensored there, which was brought to us by the Lexus RX, the luxury SUV for those who never want to lose their edge. Experience amazing at your Lexus dealer.
The dog's going to tackle Leroy for a 2-yard loss.
They're brutal.
What they got? We went after your hoodie?
No, Fonz had a hat there, and Dre we call him Little Chewy. He don't know what his name is because Rebecca calls him K9.
Huh?
K9.
So he's confused by
this is a police dog.
Oh, I like it.
Yeah.
If you guys are just tuning in, Emmanuel
Tobin, no. If you're just tuning in, Tobin's been ridiculous for the last 30 minutes.
I haven't been ridiculous, dude. I haven't been ridiculous. I honestly think, to be honest with you, you guys sound ridiculous.
What? That we just want our team to win?
Yeah, you literally you just want your team to win.
No, for right now, yes.
Cool.
Wait. Hold on, Leroy. Doesn't every fan root for their team or individual to win? They don't care how they get to it.
But this is why you guys. But this is why you guys are being Peter Pans, and you're not.
This is about to be an hour of the same quibble.
That's good.
Right.
That means I could
The
just
same quibble,
which I don't want.
It's not going to end nowhere because he's going to loop. He's going to loop-de-loop.
I'm not trying to loop.
She knows you.
I'm not trying to loop anything. You guys are sitting here lying to yourself, acting like you're having fun.
We're not
No, I'm not.
lying.
Hey. See, I actually played football, and I played on a team that was 3-13, and I thought a whole bunch of times, man, I wish we could have squeezed a couple of those out. 3-13 sucks.
Great, but then you also made the argument about the Minnesota Vikings, like you guys weren't one of those memorable teams of all time,
and we didn't win the Super Bowl. So
cool.
Would I rather go on 13-3 and win the Super Bowl? Yes.
Okay, that's not possible.
Right, I know.
It's a box 10.
No, I'm
What do
not
you mean?
boxed in.
Box, you mean it's 3-13 and win the Super
I'm
Bowl?
like,
that brings boxes
we
into
look.
that.
I'm
Doesn't
saying
make sense.
every week we look great, and we didn't win the Super Bowl.
Okay, who said going 3-13? Nobody argued that.
I said 13-3. When our
Then
brother
how-
lost 2 more
how
games.
did all this be 3-13, scoring 70 points a game? Like that's ridiculous. Why don't we, let's have grown-up conversations, dude.
Dude,
I just wish I wish you could have I wish you could just have a civilized sit down every once in a while, talk some footy football.
So Tobin, has anybody?
Hey, wait, look, Luis Benito says Leroy won't even say Watson sucks. You haven't been listening to me lately.
Yeah,
You really haven't said the words he sucks. In fact, you went so far as to say we have actually, you were like going into some deep dive, like actually I don't even think maybe he was even that good at it in the first place, as opposed to just saying he fell off
that's
a cliff.
worse than somebody saying he sucks. That if somebody's saying that they weren't even good in the first place, that's worse than he sucks.
Here's what I said. I said, Vlad, so many times we find these quarterbacks that run around and make plays that we don't realize they can't play from a pocket. And today's football is all timing and playing from a pocket.
Yeah, the ancient days of 2021.
So what were you gonna say?
Can I say
Right
right now?
now?
Can I say this right now? Normally, I'm playing when I want to chop you in the throat. But I really want to chop you in the throat so no words come out of your mouth. Like, you sound crazy. Dude, I'll help you up. You know what? Yeah, I'll help you up and give you a throat lozenge. But I just want it to stop.
Mm-hmm.
Make it stop.
Why?
You sound ridiculous.
You deserve a Ric Flair chop.
So why do we
Yes.
Oh yeah, just what we gave. How much money did they give out this $600 million this offseason for 9-6 games. It's great. To
Your
Waddle,
quarterback's out.
Tyreek Hill. Yeah, well, even when he was in there, they weren't scoring points.
That's a whole nother conversation.
It's not a whole nother conversation.
Wait.
That's
Hold
my
on.
point.
Let me explain my point. Let's try to get back to that point where we can complain about Tua not scoring a bunch of points. But if we do it at 500, you feel better.
I would feel better about the coach if I could see this team actually offensively put up some points, even with a backup quarterback.
So it has nothing to do with winning games?
It has to show to be what is the identity of the team anymore. When this team started and when it was looking good, the identity of the team was a good offense. The offense has been decrepit.
Agreed. But I want the team to win, and we'll figure the other stuff out as we go while we win it. If you're losing, then you bring a whole lot of other problems into the mix. So, yeah. 3-3. Can I tell you? But when Tua got hurt, if I told you the team's going to be 3-3 when Tua comes back, you wouldn't have been excited? You wouldn't have been happy? 500 with your starting quarterback out?
I would have been happy.
Okay, then. Why can't you be happy for that?
I just hate watching the games.
Oh, my goodness. You're the worst. You are the worst.
That's our show, everybody.
Oh, my goodness.